I got up this morning and saw some awful, heartbreaking news that I want to talk about a little bit here and kind of honor the memory of a great man that we've just now lost. Daniel Naroditsky has unfortunately passed away. Daniel was my chess teacher for over a year and my friend. And even though I may have retired my jersey in professional chess playing, I never lost the passion for it, but I never stopped following the chess community, and in particular, Daniel and his achievements. Daniel was such a bright light in the chess community and just such a fucking amazing guy. For so many people, Daniel Naroditsky was their entry into chess. He had the most educational streams. He was the best instructor at it. He was able to make it exciting. His love of the game was infectious, and he was able to teach people that had no prior knowledge of chess at all how to really get into it and what it all means and make it just so fucking fun. He was an amazing teacher, an amazing player, and an incredible friend. And, I mean this genuinely. He had such a profound effect on my life in just that year and a half of him being my fucking sensei here, taking me into his dojo of discipline and teaching me the ins and outs of this game. Throughout my 19 years of making shit online, there's a few moments that stand out to me as unforgettable experiences that I will remember for the rest of my fucking life. Like, even if the Men in Black hit me with a neuralizer, those memories will somehow remain. They will persist through that. And at the top of that list is the PogChamps tournament where Daniel Naroditsky was mentoring me, teaching me chess, and preparing me for my biggest match against XQC.
Because when you bring out the bishop like this, it can become very vulnerable right away. So I'm not sure that I like the variational approach here.
No, please don't. And it's too soon. It's too soon, Hikaru. We didn't even reach a climax. You know, when I said it'd be fun to see a checkmate in 4 earlier, I was joking. It was we're listening to Moist Critical right now.
Daniel Naroditsky is a prophet. He said immediately that XQC will likely go with the Scotch Open, and he did. So I had the counterplay, and he immediately blundered. Well, that's got to be a world record. Thanks for the fat 10 gift subs, Pikachu. My is throbbing. I called Daniel Naroditsky the prophet because in our sessions, he actually predicted that exact thing could happen. He was like Doctor Strange peering into all of these different universes, all of these infinite possibilities, and he saw the true line of what would unfold here in our dimension. Is that a better position, or is that still just not even worth?
So you can play this. Yeah, this is a good move. Now, knight f6 is probably the best move. Queen f6 is a very decent move because he might take your knight. That's actually possible. Miss mate in 1. Imagine what that would create. The problem is, again, if he knows what to do, he plays bishop to e3 here, then queen f6 is a slightly inaccurate move. We basically transpose into theory. But I would, you know what, why don't you risk it? I would just risk it.
I like that, yeah. And like clockwork, that game unfolded exactly as Daniel Naroditsky predicted it would. He was such a wholesome presence in the chess community, and the world is a worse place without him now. He was very young with still so much that I know he would have accomplished, and it's just a tragedy, really. I don't know if we'll ever see another person like Daniel Naroditsky. So instructive and entertaining and patient. Holy shit, his patience is that of a saint. To put up with the mumbo jumbo that I would be blabbering about with my, fucking Cro-Magnon brain in the chessboard, and he would, be able to sit there through all of my incoherent ramblings of nonsensical chess theory that obviously was never even feasible, and still able to, open my third eye to how chess is actually supposed to be played effectively, and doing it just so respectfully and so friendly and make it so fun. Like, there is nobody that could ever fill the void that is now left by Daniel Naroditsky's passing. I really wanted to do my best here to just pay tribute to a guy that meant a lot to a ton of people. And I had full intentions of not mentioning Vladimir Kramnik. I was going to do my best to restrain myself and not bring his name up, but as I was making this video, this vile worm posted a cruel and heartless tweet about this news. And I cannot help but just give a big fuck you to Kramnik. It's as far as I'll go here. I'm not going to get into the weeds of everything with Kramnik and what had been going on. But after seeing that, I literally cannot stop myself from just saying what a big piece of shit Kramnik is. But anyway, like I said, this video I just mainly wanted to be honoring Daniel Naroditsky and talking to the exemplary character he had demonstrated throughout our friendship and the effect he had on my life personally, as well as on the broader chess community. He introduced countless people to chess. And not only was he such a positive force in the chess community, but in streaming in general. I mentioned his streams were endlessly entertaining. And that's to anybody, even if you have no idea what chess even is. Even if your only exposure to chess is through fucking Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone when they play wizard's chess. If you have no idea what the game even is, if you stumbled across his stream, you probably stuck around and got hooked because he himself was just so fun to watch. He was a great, great guy who accomplished so much in his life. GM Daniel Naroditsky is a name that will always live on as a invaluable piece of chess history. And I am very happy to have been able to call him a friend, and I will forever regret not reaching out more often in recent times. If Daniel's family ever need anything at all, please feel free to reach out. I would like to help in any way I can. And anyway, I just wanted to kind of talk about this a little bit. That's it. So yeah. No, it can't be. I was reassured that AI data centers were good for people, good for all of us, the future of mankind. Investing trillions of dollars, selling out every piece of land in this country for AI data centers to help us. But now, I think the cracks are starting to show. I think the truth is starting to leak out, and, well, don't worry, BlackRock has solutions for that. Larry Fink made a really cool statement about how they're going to protect it from the domestic terrorists that might not want AI data centers, which I think is a really cool label to be slapping on normal, average working people that just don't want to see their energy bill skyrocket and their water get turned into fucking sludge soup. Oh, you fucking terrorist! What, you don't like the data center, do you? Well, welcome to the gulag. It's pretty unhinged, but I'll get to that in a moment. I want to show you something that I just learned about that I think is extremely alarming. This is so far the biggest public goat-seeing from the data center epidemic, where in Lake Tahoe, 50,000 residents have just been informed that in 2027, their energy provider is abandoning them to focus solely on the energy demands of the AI data centers in the area. Now, this probably doesn't come as a surprise to anyone who's been paying attention to what's been going on. All companies are finding ways to butt-fuck the normal person and focus entirely on suckling the bosom of AI. Not just for data centers, but let's take a look back about 5 months ago, which is like ancient history with the way everything's been moving, with Micron. Do you remember when Micron did one of these to all the normal consumers that relied on their RAM being one of only 3 big players in RAM production? Well, Micron, 5, maybe 6 months ago now, announced that they will be getting out of that sector entirely. Took every consumer's head and just put it in the toilet, giving them a nice swirly, saying, "Fuck you nerds, we've got AI now." Then threw on their sunglasses and never looked back. Which inevitably caused the big RAM crisis and the prices to skyrocket there because of now the impending RAM shortage that would be unfolding because, again, Micron was one of only 3 big RAM producers, and they just outright said, we will no longer be providing to the consumer market starting this year. So they did that because AI was more lucrative, and now you're seeing everything else go in that direction. And this is the first big example of just an energy company that 50,000 people rely on to live, just hitting that Harry Houdini vibe and vanishing on them, saying, don't really care about you plebeians. Flesh and blood is cringe. AI is the future. We gotta go take care of AI. I mean, good luck out there, though. Maybe you'll find other power suppliers, but it won't be us. Bye-bye. NV Energy, the Nevada utility that has supplied the bulk of Lake Tahoe's electricity for decades, told Liberty Utilities, the small California company that services the region, that it will stop providing power after May 2027. The reason? NV Energy needs the capacity for data centers, as in, the energy supplier for the Lake Tahoe region is telling the utility company that it has less than a year to find another power source. Which shouldn't be a problem. They maybe just need to dig a few feet underground to find the fucking Tesseract, and maybe they can install that. Surely that won't be a huge issue. I imagine that'll be without hiccups. Doesn't this paint the most beautiful picture? It's always been abundantly clear companies don't give a fuck about you or anything, but now that companies see a way of cutting you out while still driving up their own profits, they are frothing at the mouth for it and jumping on board. They are abandoning ship on people because they don't need people anymore thanks to AI. So these data centers in this area are now the entire focus of NV Energy, and they are just saying, these 50,000 people, they can go kick rocks, pussy, good luck. And I imagine this will not be an isolated incident. This is something I've yapped about a lot. It's something that is very well known about data centers in particular for the energy demands. And as these companies get a lot of incentive to focus that energy on those data centers, they'll start to make the same decisions that we are seeing here from NV Energy, where they don't really need to supply energy to people. Ew, stinky people? Human beings? Oh! No. They can instead just focus entirely on AI data centers and making a fucking killing in the clams department through it. So they'll abandon people without a second thought. It doesn't matter to them. And I think we're going to continue to see this trend happening in places that are having this big push for AI data centers. Northern Nevada has become one of the fastest growing data center corridors in the country. Google, Apple, and Microsoft have either built or are planning facilities around the Tahoe-Reno Industrial Center east of Reno. The Desert Research Institute, using data from NV Energy's 2024 Integrated Resource Plan, found that the 12 data center projects located overwhelmingly in northern Nevada could drive 5,900 megawatts of new demand by 2033. At a regional business event last fall, NV Energy's director of business development called the moment unprecedented, saying the company was eager to serve the new industrial load, but that it would not impact our existing customer base. Are you telling me he lied? He was too focused on the load. That load was too appealing. It felt too good, tasted too yummy, that he did indeed impact the existing customer base by outright telling them to go take a hike. Get out of here, dweebs, and then giving them a wedgie on the way out in order to solely focus the energy demands on the data centers. Come on. No, there's no way they lied. Ah, man, that's crazy. But Liberty's 49,000 California customers may have already been bearing the cost. Liberty Utilities generates about 25% of its power from solar facilities it owns in Nevada. The other 75% comes from NV Energy, and that source will no longer be supplied to the region by this time next year. It's like we don't exist, Danielle Hughes told Fortune. Hughes is a North Lake Tahoe resident, CEO of the nonprofit Tahoe Spark, and a supervisor within the California Energy Commission's Efficiency Division. And it's not like you don't exist. You literally don't exist to these companies. You are not even numbers on a page anymore, because now the numbers that they actually care about are whatever the AI data center numbers that they find are. This article also goes into how messy this kind of thing is and why it's an extremely tricky problem to solve, especially considering that their grid sits inside of NV Energy's balancing authority and they rely on their transmission lines, which they are no longer going to be having access to for these 50,000 residents that are being abandoned here. So the whole thing is extremely difficult to try and navigate, so even finding another power supplier isn't exactly easy and would also cost tons and tons of money. Building a direct connection to California's grid would require a new transmission line west over the Sierra, a project Liberty President Eric Schwartzrock said would cost hundreds of millions of dollars with significant land impacts, and also would lead to higher costs to these residents that have been abandoned. It's going to be passed down to them. So, no matter what happens next, them being completely, thrown to the dirt by NV Energy in favor of them supplying the power to data centers, no matter what happens next, if they do get an alternate power source player to come in to help them, it will most likely lead to a significant increase in their cost. Their bills are going to go up. So they're getting fucked, no matter what happens. I recommend you read the entire article from Fortune if you're at all interested in the nuance and the inner workings of how this garbage is unfolding. There's like a back and forth here where NV Energy's like, oh, they knew this was coming and it's their fault for not being able to secure a new independent power supply, that kind of thing. It's been going on for a while. We've always said it's temporary. We've just extended our agreements for a while and they've been dragging their feet on replacing us, that kind of thing. There's really a lot to unpack here, and there is no, regulatory oversight that can come in and help fix this, even though there are arguments being made that there should be something out there, and, protesting how this is even allowed to happen, how the power provider could just be like, actually, we're just going to focus on AI. The 50,000 residents that rely on our power to live, they're, who are they? I already forgot about them. There's been a lot of arguments, there's a lot to it, so the article goes pretty in-depth on it. As for what's next in the region, Liberty told customers that NV Energy will remain the transmission provider. The wires aren't going anywhere, so that's nice. They didn't just dig up the wires and throw them in a fucking landfill or something. So the question is, who's going to supply the electricity that flows over them and what that cost will be and whether the regulators can protect customers whose upstream grid sits outside California's usual planning structure. And they are right now shopping the bid replacement contract to anyone and everyone. They are really trying to find this next energy provider. There was a tad bit of optimism when it came to a short-term solution, but long-term is a lot more unstable and unknowable. And they close with this statement saying, we have no representation, it's resource extraction. It is 1000% resource extraction, and representation has proven in other regions across the country to not matter at all when it comes to these data centers. Let's take a look at Utah. The Kevin O'Leary clown show, his fucking circus, who, by the way, likes to continue LARPing as an American. He's not. He is a bald Canadian bitch ass. And yet he still comes over here and tries to preach about American values and why the data center is the most patriotic thing you can do. Cringe, pathetic, worm demon. Anyway, in Utah, all of the people were voicing how much they didn't want it, the disdain. They would not support it. Please don't. Begging, groveling, do not let this data center project be approved. A 40,000 acre data center. The largest imaginable. Genuinely, I cannot even fathom something that big. A 40,000 acre data center is fucking diabolical. And the geriatric fossils that were approving this project, who are supposed to be representing the people in the community, outright said, one of them verbatim said, for hell's sake, grow up. A crazy statement, and I do believe they are fighting for hell. They are demons on the side of Satan. So, these fucking octogenarians, in the face of all the community that went out there, and there was a huge number of people yelling, screaming, begging, stop, don't do it, don't, no data centers. In front of all of them, they insulted the people, berated them, and then went into their own private room to get away from all the riffraff, all the hustle and bustle and hoopla, so that way they could unanimously push it through to greenlight the 40,000 acre data center. That goes in the face of all of the people that they are supposed to be representing the interests of. So it's pretty clear that even having representation of like the will of the people does not matter. These data centers are being built and brute forced through because most likely all of these politicians and the people in power in these communities are getting a nice little chunk of change for it, some real strong incentives, and they don't care about the people. And there's no consequences. There are literally no consequences anymore across the board. You can lie, you can scam, you can fraud, all of this, and there is nothing that happens. Nothing at all. So they feel very emboldened to just blatantly, openly be corrupt, and that's what's happening. So these data centers, they are coming. They're showing no signs of slowing down. It's extremely concerning. It's extremely infuriating. And BlackRock is already planning for people to feel like forced into a corner and doing something drastic, like maybe trying to destroy a data center.
And the need for rebuilding the GCC region, to rebuild it so that it's going to be in a position where it's not going to be obstructed by drone warfare. So many more things are going to have to be underground. But even here in the United States, if we're going to be building, let's say, these 1 gigawatt data centers, how do we make sure we're not protecting those $50 billion, $75 billion investments? We have to relook at everything because of the role of drone warfare. Right now we're looking at it internationally, but one of my concerns is, could it be a domestic terrorism using a $3,000 drone?
These slimy husks, these zombies are getting so comfortable calling anyone that goes against the corporations selling out of this country and their land terrorists. Oh, you don't support the companies coming in here with 3,100 data centers springing up in your communities, driving up your energy bills, ruining your water, polluting your community? Oh, that must make you a domestic terrorist, Buster. Or at the very least, you might have some ideas that are adjacent to domestic terrorism. A little bit of thought crime, perhaps? You don't like the data centers? Well, let's go ahead and check the surveillance data we've gathered on you through these data centers and see what we've got. This is Larry Fink of BlackRock. BlackRock is a huge player in the data center boom, and now he's openly talking about, well, how do we protect these multi-billion-dollar investments and the trillions of dollars that might need to be spent in order to secure them? Because what if a domestic terrorist starts using drone warfare on them? So it seems like there's a recognition from people like Larry Fink, these fucking zombies at the top of the food chain, that people are feeling backed into a corner. Everything in their life is getting more expensive, and data centers are only continuing to accelerate that issue. And the normal lies are no longer landing because the information's already out there. There are operational data centers that have been running for a while, so we know the bills go up in the communities that they infest. And we know they only provide temp jobs during construction. They don't actually supply any kind of economic boon to the normal working people of those communities through employment. The biggest data center in this country only has roughly 150 full-time employees. The smaller data centers or the normal-sized data centers run as lean as 20 to 25 employees full-time. So this is not providing jobs or anything to Americans in any capacity. So the lies don't work. People are getting face-fucked by this. These corporations are fully selling out everyone and everything in this country, and they're realizing that they don't actually even need people to make money anymore. So they're even getting rid of people, like NV Energy abandoning 50,000 of the residents that rely on their power to live. And Larry Fink is now talking about what they're going to do to defend these data centers from someone who might be very desperate and trying to destroy a data center on their own in order to survive in the community or help people in the community live. So he's already okay, we've got measures in place, maybe underground or, maybe who knows. But we're thinking about it. We've got countermeasures. Don't worry. We're protecting these billion and trillion dollar investments. It's fucking terrifying. And he's also being very upfront about they're going to control all the data centers. Like, great. If you're like on the side of BlackRock, you're on the bad guy's side, by the way. To the people that for some reason still mindlessly try and support data centers because they love to swallow that corporate cock and believe all their lies, like, this is the lowest of the low if you're now just like pumping your fist for BlackRock of all things.
So all of these things are actually opportunities, not problems. It's going to require, as we said, trillions of dollars of capital. Governments cannot build these out alone. They don't have the wherewithal. And two, their deficits are started to be mounting. And we spend too little time talking about the U.S. deficits and other countries' deficits. So this is all going to be the role of private sector.
Oh, thank goodness. I feel much more comfortable knowing that the future's in the hands of people like Larry Fink and BlackRock. Isn't that good news? Yeah, so anyway, had to yap about this shit. It is so fucking out of control. It is so blatantly corrupt. It is genuinely terrifying. Anyway, just wanted to put that all on your radar there. That's really about it. So, yep. It's that special time of year again. We're looking at what are the worst 5 games of 2025. Now, this was a pretty stacked year for gaming. I've said that quite a bit. There were some bangers in here, some slappers, but for every hit, there is a shit. And there were plenty of shits this year. However, I think as far as worst game of the year goes, this one was pretty easy for me to choose. But anyway, I think the other 4 might be kind of surprising and worth mentioning. I even did some real-time analysis on stream, seeing if there were any other terrible games I might have missed, and I played them on stream. I won't show you the footage of me playing through them before the finalized list, but if you want to watch the full playthroughs of those, of course, they're on my gaming channel, Moist Critical Gaming. So yeah, anyway, get your popcorn out. It's worst games of 2025 coming at you raw. Brought to you by Cheeky, powered by Cheeky Soap. The only thing worse than bad games is bad hygiene, so go ahead and fix that with the best soap in the universe. Go to usecheeky.com. Also, our Chainsaw Man soap, our collector's boxes for the Chainsaw Man movie are about to be restocked the next day or two. I'm not sure when this video is going to go up. They might be restocked by the time this is live. I already know what the worst game of the year is, but I'd have to really think on what 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th place would be. I played so many games this year. Unlike last year where I missed out on a lot, this year I played like the entire kit and caboodle of like everything that came out. If your old 4th grade English professor found Unity assets and put something on Steam for $50, I probably played it at some point. I played everything. And yet this year was so stacked, I still missed some bangers that I need to go back and play. But this year, I've got a firm handle on like every game that came out. You skipped every Nintendo game. Yeah, well, aside from Nintendo games, I literally played 0. They can hold my Johnson. So I already know what the worst is. Now we need to find what's almost as bad. I don't want to cheap out on it and do like the really small, terrible indie games that I've played. I don't think that's super fun. I feel like that's a little too easy. And there's nothing that I played that was so incredibly shitty in that area that I would put it there. So I really gotta think. I gotta rack my brain. I want to give an honorable mention to something that, by all definitions, is not a good game, but it's probably one of the most unique experiences I've ever had gaming. It is I can't even remember the name of it. It was called like Learn to Fight, Fight with Me, Time for Fight and Fighting or something. Hold on, I have a video of it on the gaming channel and I can't remember the name right now. But I want to start with an honorable mention here. Honorable mention to this game right here. This is such a fun one. Hack and Slash Fury. That's what it is. Hack and Slash Fury. Time to blow me away. This is very... Just look at this.
All. Impressive. The Dark Warriors. To beat it. Much years ago. With an earthquake. Yeah. It was very much time ago.
It was indeed very much time ago. Hack and Slash Fury, legitimately I had a wonderful time playing, but you could make an argument that it's not an incredible game. I want to give it an honorable mention here, but also a recommendation, because that shit was special. Okay, and now to the core 5. So far, nothing super terrible jumping out at me here. I really, really didn't like Assassin's Creed Shadows at all, but I'm just not a huge Assassin's Creed fan. So I don't think it's necessarily like an objectively shitty game. It's just a game and a franchise that I am so beyond bored with. I'll keep it up there as a just in case, because it is my top 5 list. I'm not scientifically looking at the worst games of the year. It's the ones I had the least amount of fun with, and that would definitely be in there. No, yeah, it was coming up in June. FBC Firebreak is definitely going to be on the top 5 worst of the year, though, that's for sure. Oh, wow, June is where the worst game of the year came out, too. Big month for shitters. Holy. I'll get more into Mind's Eye later, but I think everyone knows this is the worst game of the year. And it's not even a close competition. This is, not only is the game disastrously horrible, but everything that happened afterwards is just a remarkable clown show. With Leslie making a fool of himself constantly, saying that the only reason it's getting negative reviews is because of sabotage and like jealousy or whatever. Well, we'll get more into that one in a minute. FBC Firebreak is definitely in the top 5 worst of the year, no doubt. Didn't play Poppy Playtime Chapter 4. Finally sat out one of those games. Much to the chagrin of chat. I don't know how many times I had to reiterate I'm not playing that. I just do not like the franchise. I might put this in my top 5 worst games just because of how miserable chat was for me not playing this. Hunter x Hunter Nin Impact I was going to play, but everyone said it was really bad, so I didn't play, and then it looked like there was a lot of very fun, crazy tech in it, and then I was tempted to play it again, then never did. Killing Floor 3, similar story. Was pumped to play Killing Floor 3. Everyone said it blew ass, and then I just didn't play it. Maybe I should have, just for the sake of the top 5 worst games of the year. Oh, this is definitely in the top 5 worst of the year. The House of the Dead 2 remake. Holy shit, did they butcher that. That was a disaster. We're almost to the end of the year. And I actually only have 4 games that I genuinely really didn't like. At least from, like, the big releases. Little Nightmares 3 was pretty disappointing just because of how short it was, but that definitely isn't enough to put it in the top 5 worst by any means. But it was pretty underwhelming. It wasn't made by the original Little Nightmares team, which explains it, but still. Kind of a shame. Skipped King of Meat. Did I? That's what I was looking for. Was King of Meat in here? Oh, you're right. It just doesn't even have its own Wikipedia. Imagine paying unfathomable amounts of money, no doubt 7 figures, for like a Mr. Beast dedicated video and all of like the streamer influencer marketing, and not even being big enough to have a Wikipedia page for your game. That's crazy. Wow. Definitely King of Meat, though, in the top 5 worst of the year. Not even objectively one of the worst games of the year, but very similar to like a Concord level failure where tons of money was clearly poured into this project only for it to be a complete colossal flop. So that definitely has to make it just for that reason. Oh, now I gotta go all the way back. Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Didn't play it. First Call of Duty I skipped in a long time because this shit just looked like ass. Oh, Let It Die. The new Let It Die game. That would probably... Man, maybe I should play some of these, like, absolutely terrible games just for the sake of this top 5. Because I know the new Let It Die game would definitely be on there. It's a pay-to-win disaster. We went over it on stream not long ago. I know if I played Let It Die or Killing Floor 3, they'd probably squeak out a spot on this. I think I should play both of these, because I have no doubt they will both probably make it. Because if I don't, then my top 5 would include Assassin's Creed Shadow, which even though I personally didn't like it at all, I know that it's not an objectively worst game of the year for top 5. Let It Die Inferno is $25 and still filled to the brim with microtransactions? No way, right? I thought it was free. According to Metacritic, you only played 1 out of their 10 worst games, which was Mind's Eye. What were the other ones? That's crazy. I missed all of the big stinkers this year. Usually that's all I play. That's surprising. Second place was Blood of Marin. Or third place was Blood of Marin. Second place was Fire Emblem Mobile. The hell is Blood of Marin? Oh, this looks like my kind of bad game. Wait a minute. We might need to pivot here in a second.
Stand up. Now, I demand. It's my sworn code to end your life with a sword.
Oh man, that's music to my ears. Yeah, we gotta do that. How long do you think it'll take to beat? I'm definitely not beating Blood of Marin. I'll tell you that much. I'll probably put like an hour into this puppy and it'll probably be enough to let me know if it's a top 5 worst game of the year. I then played through Blood of Marin and then Let It Die Inferno just to give them a fair shake and see if they were going to be a worse experience than Assassin's Creed Shadow. I'm not going to show you those playthroughs here. If you want to see the full playthroughs they're on my gaming channel, Moist Critical Gaming. That was fun. Does it make the top 5 list? I'll be honest, I don't think so. I had more fun playing that than I did Assassin's Creed Shadows. Granted, I think this is obviously a much worse game. But it's my fucking top 5, and I enjoyed this more than Assassin's Creed Shadows. The new updates to Killing Floor 3 are quite good. Is it not as shitty as it was a couple months ago? I don't know if anything will beat Shadows. You were so miserable playing that. Yeah, I just can't in good conscience put it in the top 5 worst of the year, because it's not. I just fucking hate Assassin's Creed. I hate that series so much. Alright, Let It Die Inferno. I actually played this when it came out originally, the first Let It Die, and it was enjoyable. Apparently Inferno does everything wrong. So I guess we'll see how they massacred my boy. Okay, so what is a room match, I wonder? Room creation is unavailable in the standard edition. Please upgrade to the deluxe edition or higher. What? Okay, that probably just landed it on my top 5 worst games of the year. That is egregious. Are you serious? What? I just paid $25 for this and I can't even use an actual, like, standard feature of hosting a room? No way. Is the deluxe edition a free upgrade? No way, right? There's no way they would paywall that. I didn't even notice there was a deluxe edition. Let's see. Deluxe edition is $45. So I paid $25, and I need to pay $45 in order to do a room. That's crazy. There's also one more edition, the Ultimate Edition. That's $60. Is there also another game mechanic that's paywalled there? That's nuts. Am I misunderstanding something? Because this feels like absurd. And I could see like this game being fun, like getting into it. But this is absurd. Like that is crazy. Like I heard the microtransactions were bad. We went down that rabbit hole. We already knew. But I didn't see anyone mention this. To me, this is just beyond greedy. Okay, so now I can comfortably finish the top 5 worst games of the year. Assassin's Creed Shadow does not make the cut. At number 5, it'll be House of the Dead 2 Remake. This is probably one of the worst remakes you'll ever find for anything. When I played through this on the gaming channel on a whim, I didn't know it was so bad. They completely ruined House of the Dead 2. So that comfortably gets number 5. At number 4, Let It Die Inferno. Like, after having just played it for, what, hour and a half or something, which isn't a lot. It's barely enough for, like 2 or 3 Hellgate runs. It's slower than the first, but the reason it's here should be pretty obvious. It literally paywalls you from basic content. So I bought the $25 game, which I already knew was littered with microtransactions, but when I tried to create a room, which is what I believe to be a pretty basic feature, and it's right there at your fucking fingertips, when you try and create it, it says you can't do that unless you upgrade to Deluxe Edition, which is $45. That is unfathomable amounts of greed that I just truly cannot believe exists. So that is why it is easily in the number 4 slot. Even though there are some things to like about the game, that is unacceptable. Number 3, FBC Firebreak. What a stinker. This game was a miserable 4.5 hour experience. It was fine in the beginning. It's just like a very simple game. But within the first 30 minutes, you have seen and experienced everything this game has to offer. So FBC Firebreak is pretty easily there as well. Also, one of the first games that I played for the gaming channel, by the way, when I launched that. Number 2, King of Meat. King of Meat should be obvious. Even though I think there is some fun to be had with the game if you and your buddies, want to do something for a little bit as a adventure together, you could maybe squeeze half an hour of fun out of it. Maybe. But it's also a $30 game for what feels like a free-to-play mobile experience, and it is also a colossal flop on the level that the likes of which we haven't seen to this level since Concord. Millions of dollars went into this, as well as marketing for this with Mr. Beast, influencers, and all kinds of shit, and ads out the wazoo, even Discord orbs, and nobody played it. Peak player count of 320. It's just a disaster across the board. And then number 1, a surprise to nobody, it's Mind's Eye. This game, there's not a single redeeming quality to this game. Everything that could go wrong with the game went wrong with this game, and Leslie, being as delusional as he is, made it even worse, put the actual bow on top of this shit package by just being a complete asshole about everyone who was criticizing it. The game just super sucks. And it was broken. Again, everything that could go wrong with a game went wrong with Mind's Eye. Hot take, Mind's Eye better than FBC Firebreak. That is a hot take, I disagree. As an FBC Firebreak hater, I can tell you confidently you're wrong. This game, you didn't play it then. I played this shit start to finish, and my god does it blow ass. He actually beat Mind's Eye, what a warrior. Hey, I'm no hero. I did it for the gaming channel, baby. Mind's Eye 2 will redeem it. Hey, I actually wouldn't put it past Leslie to try and make a Mind's Eye 2. I genuinely think there is a non-zero chance he actually tries a Mind's Eye 2. They had the gall to put out DLC for Mind's Eye only a month ago, by the way. For all zero Mind's Eye enthusiasts. The protagonist VA did an okay job, though. I feel bad for whoever plays the main character here. I said it during the game, too. That guy is trying, and I know he also got shafted with Mafia 3 as well. He's a talented performer. But whoever his agent is, he needs to dump ASAP because they are choosing some shit for him. Don't you want to know what happens to Jacob Diaz? Was that the name of the main character in Mind's Eye? I couldn't even tell you. Oh yeah, Jacob Diaz. I don't even... The only thing I remember about it is when the fucking aliens come into the fold. I actually lost my mind when they brought in the interdimensional being aspect of the story. Recently we had a nice little circle jerk talking about Blockbuster, going over everything that made it great, why we loved it, and also everything that led to it eating such fat shit in the end. And I thought, well, if we're talking about dead businesses, we might as well talk about the most recent and modern example, Tumblr. Blockbuster died with its boots on, whereas Tumblr died with its condom on. Blockbuster went out with a sad whimper and a pathetic puff of a wet fart, whereas Tumblr literally shit itself out of existence. Blockbuster couldn't adapt to change, and Tumblr forced change, which ended up killing it. Or, I'm gonna say killing it loosely because it's not exactly completely dead. I'll get into that in a little bit. But why are we talking about Tumblr and putting it in the same league as Blockbuster? Well, it's because this week it was revealed Tumblr was sold for less than $3 million to WordPress when it was bought by Verizon in 2013 for $1.1 billion. That's a pretty fucking significant difference and a huge loss that they're just biting the ass on. So let's go over the entire history of Tumblr and how it got to this point. So Tumblr was founded in 2007 by David Karp, the primary purpose of the website being blogging. It wanted to be the best blogging site it could be, and during this time period, blogging was the shit. Everyone was doing it. Every middle-aged soccer mom on the planet had her own blog. 2 kids, red wine, just fine. A blog adventure by Sandy. And I'm not just saying it was only for boomers, the older generation blogging. During this time period, everyone was. Kids, teens, tweens, adults. Everyone had their own blog to put out their uniqueness, talk about their day. And David Karp envisioned a world where all of that would be on Tumblr. And to a certain extent, he was right. Tumblr became the hub for most blogs. And Tumblr had a very unique advantage over pretty much every other website in existence. It was extremely anonymous if you wanted it to be, which is by far the biggest contributing factor to the website's success. By being anonymous, people felt much more confident posting on it than they did Facebook, because on Facebook it's attached to them directly, and their real-life friends and family see it most likely, so people don't want to post their deep, dark secrets and fantasies on there, whereas Tumblr being anonymous is much more appealing to something like that, to get it all out and put it all out there for people to see, without having to feel worried about someone judging them or being a real-life consequence for what they put out there. And also on Tumblr, there really wasn't a whole lot of ways for people to interact with each other directly. Commenting wasn't exactly a huge thing. The main way you'd interact with a post is through reblogging it yourself. So people would really only see the positive things where people are reblogging their stuff. The more they share, the more reblogs among the same people, then you have an entire community form around it. And there was a community for pretty much fucking everything on the planet. If you had a fetish for the Ninja Turtles fighting crime while wearing diapers, there was a Tumblr crowd for it. If you wanted to read and write poems about the extreme dinosaurs fighting the Ninja Turtles in dirty diapers, there was definitely content for that as well, whole communities. The point being, on Tumblr, there was a community for everyone, and every community was welcomed, which was both a great thing and a curse, like having a dick that's too big, where you can't get laid because it's too scary, but also having the prestige of having a massive dick. It's a double-edged sword. By welcoming all of these communities, it eventually led to Tumblr falling into hot water and eventually leading to where it is today. Not exactly dead, but not exactly... it's dead. No, yeah, pretty much leading to its death. But anyway, within the first 2 weeks of Tumblr's launch, they had 75,000 signups. It hit the ground running, and it wasn't long after that it established itself as the biggest player in the blogging space, as well as really just kind of fan art in general. By 2012, it was beating Instagram and Pinterest in monthly viewers, and in 2013, it was bought by Verizon for $1.1 billion, but they kept David Karp on board to keep things running smoothly, which it did. For the most part on Tumblr for the users, it was business as usual. There wasn't any radical changes under the new ownership of Verizon. However, the identity of Tumblr was slowly changing. Whereas before it was more focused on blogging, now the tone was shifting where it was mainly focused on adult content. Porn, fanfic with massive cock and balls, a lot of niche porn communities and fetishists used it. It was basically home to pretty much anything adult-oriented, and that was massive for it, leading to 640 million monthly visits by July of 2018. It only continued to grow over this tone shift. However, this was pretty detrimental to Tumblr as an advertiser, because no one wants to advertise, fucking Ford right next to Batman bending over a rhinoceros with a veiny cock as comes pouring out of the rhino's mouth. So most advertisers were hesitant to advertise on Tumblr with all of this adult content because, in general, on the internet, most advertisers aren't gung-ho about it. I'm sure a lot of you watch YouTubers, and a lot of them talk about demonetization if you say fuck too many times, or if you put out a combo of words like fuck ass or ass fuck. Sometimes that'll even be enough to scare advertisers off. Tumblr had that times 100 million. It was very hard for them to find advertisers after their initial Adidas deal in 2012. They struggled very hard in that department, and in 2017, is when things really did start to change a little bit for Tumblr. In 2017, David Karp leaves, and by 2018, they start to notice things are a little bit wrong with the site. There's some very degenerate communities on there, and then in November of 2018, the final nail in the coffin strikes where it's removed from the App Store because child pornography now has a home on Tumblr, and that was a huge issue for obvious reasons. And then, you know the story in December 2018, December 17th, they outright ban porn and overly adult content nudity. That's really when Tumblr died. That's the day the fat lady not only sung, but shit her pants for Tumblr. That was pretty much the end of an era. Up until this point, everyone, myself included, and if you say you didn't use Tumblr for porn, I know you're lying to me. Everyone was using it to find good porn, or even just look at the GIFs, and that was enough. It was the go-to for any type of fetish, anything. It always had all of the adult content, and that's what its identity really became. So when you took that away, you had to know it wasn't going to bode well for the site, and only days after the announcement, its users dropped by 30%. And nowadays, most people don't even talk about Tumblr outside of Tumblr unless they're pissing on its grave. But the interesting thing is, Tumblr's not dead. Tumblr is still getting, as of August 2019, 380 million monthly visits. So I have to wonder, why the fuck did it sell for less than $3 million with that kind of power? That's still a massive site. And also, who's still using it? Because, like I said, it's not really talked to outside of its own website. Most of the people that were power Tumblr users, huge blog masters, guru gamer assassin Tumblrs, have moved to other sites, Twitter, DeviantArt. They take their talents elsewhere. There's really no one left on Tumblr, so how? How is it still so massive? And I've looked for the last couple hours, and I really can't find where it's coming from. I have to wonder if it's like a giant fucking conspiracy or something from David Karp, like he set up a fucking Bitcoin mining farm, but for mining views on Tumblr. So I have to wonder, what fucking idiot made this deal for Verizon if Tumblr is still pulling these kind of numbers to sell for $3 million? It makes no sense, unless there's more going on under the hood, or maybe if it's just as simple as the executive was, coming into work after a fat key bump of coke and injecting meth directly into his penis veins, and he just, stumbles in, Tumblr, I'll give it to you for $3 million and you kiss my wife on the lips. Deal? I just don't get it. Maybe it was a huge accident like in Rocco's Modern Life where Big Head accidentally bankrupts the entire company. I just don't understand why they would sell it for so low if these numbers are accurate, which multiple sites say they are. It's fucking wild to me. So it's not exactly dead if you're going by just pure volume. There's still clearly a lot of clicks coming through on Tumblr, but outside of its own website, it really doesn't seem to have the same impact that it used to. Whereas people were always linking to Tumblr shit, talking about it, and using it, mainly for porn, almost exclusively for porn towards the later span of its life. And there's nothing wrong with that. Bring back porn on Tumblr, and you'll probably revive Tumblr if I had to guess. But under WordPress, I don't think that's going to be the case. But anyway, that's the history of Tumblr and the death of Tumblr. Though it's not exactly a death because it's still super popular. It's kind of like in Hey Arnold with a Dino Spumoni faking his own death. It's kind of what Verizon's done to Tumblr. We only pretended to kill it. It's still popular, just not as popular. Which was surprising, man. I really can't express how shocked I was by the numbers it's pulling after the huge blow it took to getting rid of adult content. But anyway, that's it. That's the story of Tumblr. So yeah. Been a little while since my last Jeffrey Epstein update, so I figured I'd tag in here and give you the latest scoop. The Jeffrey Epstein birthday book has been released. There is a little bit of information redacted in there, but not all that much. It's, for the most part, the entire kit and caboodle, filled with all kinds of new photos, and basically, if you don't know what the birthday book is, it's something that Ghislaine Maxwell put together for Jeffrey Epstein's birthday, which is a bunch of notes that were written by his closest pals. I'm not going to dive too deep on this one here because CoffeeZilla just tackled this on his Voidzilla channel and did an amazing dive into it, as well as analyzing the credibility of the contents of the book, because naturally the administration is claiming it's all horseradish, it is fake, baloney, fiddlesticks, that kind of thing. And I think CoffeeZilla does a good job of analyzing the facts that are presented here. This is a actual book that has been compiled here, and if it is all fake and a forgery, it is one of the most elaborate forgeries I've ever seen. Because again, there's a lot of like new information and new photos, like actual legitimate photos of Epstein and friends in this book that have never been presented elsewhere before. And from what I can tell, pretty much everyone else that is in that book that has wrote letters isn't denying the authenticity of the letters they wrote. It's just Donald Trump crying foul on it. If the whole thing is fake, why is it only him pointing that out? Or maybe they're claiming that only his section is fake. And in that case, that's a really difficult thing to have slid into an actual bound book in a way that is this watertight. It would be, like I said, one of the most elaborate forgeries I've ever been aware of. Anyway, I highly recommend you check out Voidzilla's coverage of it. I'm not here to talk too deeply on that. The one I want to focus on is by far the wackiest claim I have seen yet from this administration in regards to Donald Trump's ties to Jeffrey Epstein, where they are trying to claim, or at least they were briefly trying to claim, that he was actually an FBI informant working to take down Jeffrey Epstein. I shit you not, they actually tried the classic, like, 5-dimensional chess move of, well, actually, simpletons, this was a bold strategy from Trump here, being the brave, courageous man that he is. He only got close to Jeffrey Epstein and flew on his plane numerous times because he was compiling evidence against him so that way the FBI could bring him down. His actual quote was, when he first heard the rumor, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. He was an FBI informant to try to take this stuff down. What a preposterous, absurd claim. More like Mr. Gargling Johnson, because he's got Donald Trump's dick so far down his throat that now he's farting out these fairy tales. What? So he tried to say that once Trump became privy to the evil of Jeffrey Epstein, he excommunicado from Mar-a-Lago, kicked him out. Really, it was all an elaborate ruse. He was a super spy working for the FBI to try and put the kibosh on the Jeffrey Epstein operation. Like, wow. They think you are that stupid that you will buy this B-movie plotline here. Like, just picture this for a moment. If Trump was an FBI informant, do you think that wouldn't have been the first thing he would have said when Jeffrey Epstein did eventually get busted? By the way, it wasn't Donald Trump's deep cover that led to that or anything of the sort. But just imagine this. If that was the case, that would be literally the first thing Trump would have said, and he would have crowned himself like the next James Bond. You wouldn't have heard the end of it. Donald Trump would not have ever let you fucking stop hearing about how he was one of the most successful spies, you know, up there with some of the greats like fucking Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible. He was able to stop Jeffrey Epstein. He was an FBI informant for all these years. What an outlandish narrative to try and pull out of your asshole here to explain his proximity to Jeffrey Epstein for so fucking long and the amount of times he flew on his plane. Like, to say that it was all because he was an FBI informant is just unhinged. Like, just imagine those phone calls if this was real. FBI, listen, Jeffrey Epstein, he's not buying it. I'm gonna have to fly on the plane and there's gonna be some bad stuff that happens, but just know it's all in the name of keeping my cover intact. I gotta make sure he trusts me. No, really, I swear, that's exactly what it's for. Okay, I'm going in. This was received so poorly, laughed at by so many people, even in the most devout of MAGA cults, that Johnson had to walk it back like 2 days later. He tries to explain what I was referring to in that long conversation was what the Epstein victim's attorney said. More than a decade ago, President Trump kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago, and he was one of the only prominent people, as everyone has reported, that he was willing to help law enforcement go after this guy who was a disgusting child abuser, sex trafficker, all the allegations. That's what they heard, so the president was helpful in that. I don't know if I used the right terminology, but that's common knowledge, and everybody knows that. So this is much ado about nothing. Also, fun fact, Trump recently debunked that theory that the reason he kicked Jeffrey Epstein out was because he found out about all of the disgusting shit he was involved with. According to Trump, the reason they had a falling out is because people were taken out of the spa, hired by him, in other words, gone, and other people would come and complain. This guy's taking people from the spa. I didn't know that. And then when I heard about it, I told him, I said, listen, we don't want you taking our people, whether it was spa or not spa. I don't want them taking people, and he was fine. And then not too long after that, he did it again, and I said, out of here. So he is literally just throwing that into the shitter himself, saying, no, I actually kicked him out because he was stealing my workers. He was taking my girls over here. And I said, nope. I had to put my foot down right then and there. And I said, this is a load of fish paste. This is no more. This is the end of that. Get out of town, Buster. So what Johnson is even referring to here is something that it seems Trump himself shot down the idea of. So it is just crazy across the board. To me, what this feels like is that the political puppets in power here are dipping their tootsies, testing lines to see how far they can push, absolute fantasies. How stupid are people and how much shit will they eat? And he tried this FBI informant angle just to, test the waters a little bit. Will people buy it? Can we get away with something like this? But in this case, Stove was too hot, so he took his hand off it and said, no, it was a misunderstanding. This is what I was referring to. Because the backlash was a little much. It was too stupid. So they're trying to find that perfect line of insanity that people will buy. That's what it seems like to me. There is just no way this was some mix-up here in terminology. What sensible human being would possibly get confused on what an FBI informant means? You called him an FBI snitch. That's an actual thing. And you're just like, oh no, I might have used the wrong words there. That's not exactly what he was. In fact, he never really worked for the FBI or anything like that in any official capacity. And really, he didn't actually provide a whole ton of evidence that led to the arrest of Jeffrey Epstein. Now, it's kind of a completely different investigation that Trump wasn't involved in. But yeah, he was an FBI informant, I think. At least I thought he was. No, that's not the right word. What's the word I'm looking for? Friend. He was a friend of Jeffrey. No, not a friend. No. Man, there's a word for it. I just can't find it somewhere. It's so weird. But yeah, everyone's making a mountain out of a molehill here. I just said the wrong terminology. You knew he kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago, right? No, that's the most important part. What a bumbling oaf. Just like a true textbook imbecile. It's crazy though, because I do know people bought that. I know there were people that heard that and breathed a huge sigh of relief, wiping sweat from their forehead. Whew. I knew it all along. I never had any doubts. I knew Trump was actually 5 steps ahead of everyone else. He was an FBI informant. I always had a hunch. I always knew that. It's so fucking sad. It's so pathetic. Anyway, I just wanted to give you the little Epstein update here. Again, I highly recommend checking out the Voidzilla video covering the most recent Epstein development here in regards to the birthday book. And anyway, that's about it. See ya. We're certainly living in the future these days where all of our products are considered smart products, meaning they all have to be connected online via Wi-Fi, and you have to register them with a valid driver's license, fill out a survey, sign up for a newsletter. Got goddamn smart condoms coming next, I'm sure, where you have to be connected online at all times, otherwise the condom shuts down and it won't stretch so you can't fucking use it. But this new revolutionary product is not a smart product. It will allow you to sit anywhere, but not comfortably. So this is a wearable chair. It just is 2 little legs that you put on your ass cheeks and you sit down, folds out, and then you kind of have to get into a pseudo squat to balance yourself. And it kind of looks like you're balancing on 2 pogo sticks, or they kind of look like the legs of a robot stripper, like wearing fishnets. It could have at least made the legs kick out and look kind of cool, but it just looks really odd. They look like the rollerblades from Alita Battle Angel. It looks like his asshole is dual-wielding the 007 Clobs. The design is an extension of your body. If your body is made out of PVC pipe and bubblegum, I suppose. This is also going to be the most uncomfortable bus ride of his life. He can't sit down wearing this. He's going to have to be standing. Though I suppose he could go full douchebag mode and just pop a squat in the middle of the aisle, giving the middle finger to everyone else on the bus. Fuck you, I've got my Go-Go Gadget Extendo ass cheek chair. Yeah, 265 max carrying capacity is just not going to cut it, not winning the Nobel Prize there. This seems like a product that would be aimed at people far in excess of 265 because it appears to make the assumption that everyone is just the laziest fucking slob who can't be bothered to stand for more than 2 minutes, and the only people this would appeal to are people that get winded when they're standing for more than 2 minutes waiting for a bus and their knees are about to fucking explode. But that clientele is going to weigh more than 265, so they can't even use this. And at the end of the day, there's places to sit everywhere. In fact, any place is a place to sit if you're willing to just pop a squat on it, you know what I mean? Even on the ground is far more comfortable than this, I imagine. And also, you're not locked into wearing the saw trap all day. The creators also say it'll make your penis bigger. I can promise you this is not going to change how you use your workspace. No one's going to be using this. This will never catch on. But you know what? I'll toy around with the idea. I also think I can come up with a suggestion on how to change this workplace in particular. Why not just put a nice chair there? Why not just pull over a chair? What kind of goddamn sweatshop is this guy working in where he can't just pull over a chair that should already be there in the first place or readily available? Why does he have to come to work with these 2 aluminum sticks on his ass in order to sit down? This is just a job he might want to consider leaving. If you have to come to work wearing a strap-on just so you can sit down, it's probably not worth whatever you're getting paid to work there. I'll let them have this one, I agree. This will change how they travel and how they commute, because you won't be able to sit down on anything comfortable, unless you take this thing off, and then even then you have the inconvenience of carrying this shit around and making everyone around you think that you're a psychopath. So yeah, that will change the game for you, but not positively. Almost every scam gets fully funded on Kickstarter. A man making a potato salad crushed his Kickstarter goal. This isn't a selling point. Just knowing it was on Kickstarter is enough to immediately make me question it and really kind of not want it. Kickstarter has such a negative reputation. Tech Insider speculates that this wearable chair could change how we work and travel. And at $145, I promise you it never will. A, no one wants it. B, that's too expensive for this piece of shit. And C, no one's gonna commit social suicide by walking around wearing this anywhere in the world. I slid the brown note in there, so if you've caked your trousers, you're welcome. Welcome to the funeral for Destiny 2. It has just been announced by Bungie that active development is coming to a close, which means we've reached the end of the journey with Destiny 2, which I know might not come as a huge shock to a large number of people. The writing was kind of on the wall over the last many months, unfortunately, but for me personally, it's still sad to see. I have always said that Destiny has had the most potential out of any FPS we've ever seen. I have collectively spent a couple thousand hours in Destiny 2 across console and PC, and some of my most memorable gaming moments in general come from doing raids with my friends in this game. It is some of the best content you can find, and we always made a tradition out of trying to day one complete the new raid in Destiny 2 when we were blessed with them. So I really did love this game, and I always kept my fingers crossed, praying, salivating that they would start to reach the potential that so many of us knew that it had in the tank. There was so much juice in here, but they left a lot of piss in the balls. Unfortunately, throughout the Destiny 2 journey, there were a ton of stumbles from Bungie with the direction of things, and really lack of direction of things, and I abandoned Destiny 2 after Lightfall. My entire friend group did. Lightfall was just a dud. That was a flop. I mean, it was hard to go back to Destiny 2 after Lightfall. So I never even got to experience the final shape, which was really the climax to all of it. Even though I heard it was very good, which is nice, they kept going after the final shape. And as they continued to kind of scrape the bottom of the barrel, they kept hemorrhaging players. And if you look at the Steam charts, you can see that decline steadily happening over many months. And now it was in a state where it really was just on life support, and it was pretty clear Bungie wasn't putting like a ton of resources into trying to like revamp Destiny 2 to get players to go back to it or get new players in. So it really isn't surprising that this is happening now. So let's go through the announcement, but also I want to mention something else since I brought up Steam charts. Bungie's other game, Marathon, is actually doing worse than Destiny 2 by player numbers, by raw player numbers on the Steam charts. So it makes me wonder, how is Bungie going to stay afloat in the meantime? Because it doesn't look like Marathon has a strong enough player base to support them. Like, they're right now teetering on fucking high guard numbers. Is that enough to allow Bungie to press forward? Like, maybe, and perhaps I'm overthinking it, maybe it really will just be Sony with more infusions of cash. Maybe they're able to just still run off of everything they built with Destiny. I don't know. But to no longer have Destiny in like an active development state, it will continue to hemorrhage. And then they only have Marathon, which is starting to tread water, like dangerously fast. So what keeps them going in the meantime while they work on their next project? I guess that remains to be seen. For almost 12 years, we have had the joy and honor to explore the Destiny universe with you all. Through all the ups and downs, surprises and triumphs, building Destiny alongside our players has been a monumental privilege. While our love for Destiny 2 has not changed, it has become clear that after the final shape, we have reached the time for our shared worlds and Destiny to live beyond Destiny 2. As our focus turns toward a new beginning for Bungie, we will begin work incubating our next games. To that end, on June 9th, 2026, we will release the final live service content update for Destiny 2 to begin that new journey as a studio. Though active development may be concluding, we will ensure that Destiny 2 remains playable, just as the original Destiny is today. Many changes in this final update will aim to ensure that Destiny 2 is a welcoming place for players to return to. We're proud of Destiny 2, the places it took us, and the legacy it has created. Because of you all, our universe is vast, built on years of shared stories, adventures, and victories. From the Cosmodrome to the Pale Heart to the Lawless Frontier, we have forged lifelong memories and friendships with you all. We are incredibly grateful to everyone who made that journey with us. From the deepest part of our hearts, thank you, and we'll see you in the stars. A pretty nice send-off message, to be honest, and they're dropping a final content update to it in order to try and leave it on a high note, which I think is commendable. I also appreciate that they are going to keep it in a state where it is playable. That's extremely nice, especially when so many other games just close their doors when they're done with active development. So it's good to see them put resources into ensuring that players can always still go back to Destiny and experience it. But speaking of that, one thing you can't do in Destiny, and one thing they made a habit out of doing that I was very vocally against, is the rabid sunsetting of content. For example, you actually cannot play the original Destiny 2 campaign anymore, Red War. That's been gone for a long time. So when Destiny 2 launched, the campaign that you played, that I played when it first came out, has been inaccessible for many moons now. And there's plenty of other examples of content that has been sunset that you can't access as a player anymore. So a lot of like the shared stories and shared experiences that are mentioned here in Destiny are already just fucking relics of the past. They're already extinct. You can only see them in YouTube videos or when you close your eyes and have a wet dream. Which is just something I've always felt is sad when it comes to Destiny 2, because there's a lot of content that you played and maybe really liked that they eventually just poof out. But the biggest, saddest part of all of it is just, again, how much potential was left on the table with Destiny 2. Like, it did have a good run. Like, it had a very strong run. It's not like this was like some underrated hidden gem no one knew about. Destiny 2 had a really strong, very loyal, very dedicated player base. But I feel like along the way, they kept stumbling. And they kept going in directions that the community didn't want. And then they have to reel it back to try and win them over again. So it always became this like tug of war, this push and pull where, you know, you take 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, and then you take 2 steps forward and then 3 steps back again. But there was always that hope that they would finally start to learn these lessons and be able to deliver on what Destiny 2 could offer, because there was always glimpses of it. There was some incredible content, amazing raids, amazing ideas, but then it would always be bogged down by the next thing they do that goes in the wrong direction. Like, there was just so much there, and it is sad to see that it won't be realized now with its final content update rolling out soon. But they are saying that they're currently working on their next projects, and maybe that's Destiny 3. I think that'd be extremely hype if it was, taking everything they've learned from Destiny and Destiny 2 and just blowing our ass out with Destiny 3. And that's not delusional hopium from hitting the crack pipe or anything. Like, to me, that feels realistic and feels like something that's kind of a no-brainer. Destiny is a juggernaut of a franchise. This had more staying power than 99% of games. They've made unfathomable amounts of money through Destiny, no doubt in my mind. But just through so much mismanagement over the years and being aimless numerous times, especially after the final shape apparently, which again, I'd already checked out after Lightfall because that was just so much of a blunder. But the point is, it wasn't because of lack of interest in Destiny, it was just they were making bad decisions with it and really kind of backed themselves into a corner with the final shape apparently. So I think Destiny 3 could very much be on the menu for something they serve up next. I feel like it should be. Because again, there is still so much potential there that they never fully tapped into and realized and really delivered upon. Again, there were only ever those like moments of them like starting to find their flow state, but they never stuck with it and stayed there. Like, there is nothing that is even like Destiny. There's not an alternative. Like, the Guardians here aren't going to go flock to another game now that's just like a Destiny replacement because there isn't one. You can't find a Destiny 2 game that isn't just Destiny 2. It doesn't really exist. So to me, it makes sense to do a Destiny 3 because there is still very clearly a ton of players and a ton of demand for it. And you would now have a clean slate to do it right, with every lesson that has been learned over this decade and some change, however long it's been now, 12 years, you could really nail it this time. Well, hopefully, I don't know. That might be hopium speaking there. But actually making a Destiny 3, to me, just feels like the natural next step for Bungie. But I guess we'll see. Anyway, just wanted to yap about it a bit. That's it. Yep.
You just go...
Yeah, just give him one of those. What'd you say about my mom on Xbox Live? Bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, 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 bang. What's that? I didn't like that tweet you posted.
Some arsehole stands in front of you and tries to rape you and your kids.
Whoa! Who's just gonna try and rape me and my kids on the sidewalk? Alright, I'll start throwing some mean meat out there in that case.
Someone's there cussing off your wife, dragging her by the hair. You go...
So, hey, let go of my wife's hair is what I'm saying. He doesn't let go of her hair, yeah, I'm coming in wailing.
It doesn't take much force to break his jaw, and you don't want to hurt someone. But he's trying to rape your kids. So
hey, yeah, stop trying to rape my kids.
Rape your kids.
Yeah, don't rape them.
And you don't give a fuck.
Yeah, let go of my kids. Pull your pants back up. Yeah.
Or just simply, someone's trying to abuse you and grab you by your cock.
No, hey, let go of my cock. Yeah, give him one of these.
So you chop his
I'll grab him by the cock, see how he likes it. Give him one of these. Yeah, and then maybe some of this. Then maybe on myself too a little bit. Maybe.
Someone's trying to put your kids on drugs. Just simply go.
Put those drugs away.
Back fist him in the fucking.
Yeah. Get those drugs away from my kids.
I'm saying that would be an option.
I didn't walk down this back alley to get drugs for them. Right? Those drugs are mine.
Someone's trying
get them away from my kids.
Trying to.
What's he trying to do to me?
When someone's coming at you expecting you to be the prostitute. For
Whoa!
them,
Whoa!
And they're the pimp.
I'm not the prostitute.
Someone's trying to use you like a cheap condom.
No, I'm an expensive condom. Yeah, no. Pay money for me. More money than that. I'm no prostitute.
Someone's talking shit.
Yeah.
Check this out. My buddy John is an ex-bouncer, and now he's an active-duty special operations guy with over 600 street fights under his belt.
Maybe he's an asshole.
Fighting system.
600 street fights? Your friend John's a dick. I don't want to be trained by a fucking asshole who gets into a street fight anytime he even goes to the fucking grocery store. Let's learn how to protect ourselves from some recent uploads. Urban combat self-defense, okay.
Hi guys, welcome to section 2.
Oh, is he fighting her?
The G-Kendo applications of the form, okay?
This doesn't look like someone that would attack me.
From here,
she looks nice.
Forward. Okay, other side. She lock pass out, punch.
Any of you guys ever fought old Asian women? Do you know if this technique is effective? Should we get attacked?
Like that. If you punch, okay, you gotta pull.
This guy looks like more of a computer programmer than an urban combat fighter.
That way.
But looks can be deceiving.
If I do it to you, speed, boom, speed, boom. Okay, but in the beginning, try and do it very slowly.
I fight my grandmother's friend every day. It works. Okay. We have a real testimonial then.
Slowly, lops up.
He's like a Reddit warrior. Yeah. What did you say about Game of Thrones being bad? Oh god, not the nunchucks. Please, he didn't mean it. He was just shitposting. No, don't do it to him. I swear, this guy's just coming up with flashy moves. Nothing that works. I get the knife, throw the knife on the ground, jerk him off. Give him pleasure, give him pain. Bang, finish with the elbow. Seth Rogen coming at me with a knife, take the knife, jerk him off, stab him. Bang. I will say it's at least flashy. This guy could definitely be the protagonist in like a Western Ip Man. Like if they wanted a computer programmer Ip Man, this guy could play the lead. Like his speed is nuts. It's just... I like it. Huh? No, you don't want any of this. Your eyes can't register his speed. You're at a huge disadvantage. He poked your eyes out 10 times. He poked your eyes out, put your eyes back in, poked them out again, and then wiped his ass with them. Oh, he's potato sacking him. Oh!
While on the subject...
I really unironic. This guy should really choreograph YouTube combat skits, maybe. Because he's got like the goofy speed down. Never try and get the number up. Oh, she didn't want to give me her number, huh? Time to Wing Chun! Teacher? I'm gonna feel like such a fucking idiot when it turns out that everything Emil's been teaching is like extremely effective and reinvents combat as we know it. I don't know everything you've seen in your life, but I know one thing for sure that you have bore witness to. It was a 30-year-old man smiling. But, have you ever seen a 31-year-old man smile? Now you have. But what's making this 31-year-old man smile, you're asking yourself? What could this Neanderthal possibly find joy in? What's making this caveman express a grin like this? Well, it's because he found the best FPS out at the moment, and he's been playing it a lot. And I already know what you're thinking. You think you know what game I'm about to speak on. Because the Battlefield 6 beta's out, and everyone's having a lot of fun. It turns out it is actually really good. I'm also liking it. But you'd be wrong to think that that's the game I'm referring to here. I'm actually talking about a little bad boy, a little humdinger called The Finals. I actually played this game during its tech test, and I really enjoyed it. I saw a lot of potential with it, but when the game fully came out, I made like a dog with its bone and buried it in the backyard of my mind. And I just hadn't touched it since, which was a huge mistake, a sin, really, on my gamer resume. Because this game slaps. It boggles my mind that the game isn't more popular. It's pretty shocking, actually. But it's true. Like a crack addict on the subway, this shit is slept on. I don't understand how, though. It is so good. I just revisited it for my gaming channel because I'd heard some people talk about it occasionally during streams like, hey, do you plan on checking out the finals? The new season, it just came out and it's really good. And there was some glaze and even a little bit of hype around the new season, but it kind of petered out. But for the gaming channel, I'm playing like everything ever made. So the finals is something that piqued my interest when it got mentioned. So I hopped on there on a whim. And I had so much fun playing it. So now I've played it every day since. It really does feel like something new in the genre, which is very rare. It feels like such a fresh take on an FPS multiplayer experience. Now, that's not to say everything about it is totally unique. A lot of the abilities you'll see you've definitely used before, such as like a dodge or a turret that you can place, things like that. But mixed in there are also some things I know you haven't seen before, like a dematerializer, where you can like dematerialize a wall, a floor, pretty much like any surface, because the game has an extreme level of destruction. It is a core component to the gameplay loop where you will be strategizing around it. So like if you're playing 2 heavies and a light, you might want to consider like blowing up the top floor of the building where the vault that you're going to cash out is. The objective, I should explain, is a really cool objective I've never experienced before in a first-person shooter, where it is 3v3v3v3, and you are fighting to cash out a big bundle of money into a vault. But the vault isn't like a static thing. It can be moved. It has its own physics. So if you're playing like 2 heavies and a light, since the heavies are a little slower, it might be best that you bring that vault to a location that is easier for them to reinforce. So if it's on like the top floor of a building, you might want to consider destroying the top and middle floors to bring it to the bottom, so that way you can defend it better with the 2 heavies. Like, there's just so much strategizing that goes into like just the destructible elements of the game. And I know destruction has become a marketing nothing burger buzzword, because a lot of games will bill themselves as having destruction mechanics, but all it is you can blow up like a toilet somewhere and they're like, yeah, Destruction 6.0 is here. But in this game, trust me, it is big. Like Battlefield 6, actually, in the beta, destruction is actually finally back in Battlefield in a big way, but I would argue the finals has even more of it, and it's even more integral to the experience. Not to like compare the two, but I just want to make a mention, like, the destruction is really important here. But it's not like the main selling point. The main selling point is just how smooth the game is and how fresh everything feels. So, yes, there's going to be plenty of familiar guns and weapons, like melee weapons that you'd probably used before, guns you've definitely used before, abilities you've used before, but they're used in a new way in this game, and it blends so well. There's a really good video from a YouTuber named Kelsky, who just went over everything that the finals has to love about it, and I think he does a great job at capturing all of it. So if you want like a deeper dive into why I think it's the best FPS, I agree with a lot of what Kelsky says in that video. But I also wanted to drop you some of my random clips over the last couple days of playing the finals. These are in no like particular order. They're not even that impressive, but this is just the first time in a long time where I've really been like hooked on a first-person shooter multiplayer game. So I just wanted to drop these here and just put this game on your radar as something to maybe check out if you want like a fun first-person shooter to hop into. I saved it. Oh, I'm clutch. I went the wrong way. Clutch. I've learned. Yep. I've learned. I understand it now, baby. Huge. Solo team wipe. Well, not fully solo. Almost fully solo team wipe them. Actually, it might have been solo. I think I got the other guy too, didn't I? With the grenades. I know they're mad too. I gave them those vegetables. They said, no, please. Not that. Not the broccoli. Not the cruciferous greens. And I said, it's gotta be done. Oh, shit. Got him. Clean. You're welcome, boys. Yeah, one of them just left. They gave up. Easy dub. I think I really demoralized them when I came and just fucking clapped both of their cheeks in the very first vault. Wait. Got it. Double assist. Oh, that was sad. That was very sad. Wow. This guy's got 14 frags right now. Man might drop a 20 burger on their skulls. Just reload. we go. I got him.
A little revive would be nice, maybe?
Teammates back!
We're down to the last 30 seconds. Which team will triumph?
The teams need to push hard to secure their victory.
I'm just gonna rip it right here, raw.
Back in action. Clean sweep, dirty intention.
What a slaughter. I'm double digits. He's in 20 kill ballpark, and our other guy still has 0. I don't even know how it's possible to have 0 right now with the slaughter we've been putting on him. It's been a full-blown hurtin'. Spread out. Clutch. Oh, no! I had that too. I got him.
Deploying turret.
Got him too. Clean. I got it. You protect us. Nice. Clean! Oh my god, that's strafe.
Jolting you back to action.
Oh! R.I.P. Rizzler, holy. Autistic Rizzler just got fucking sniped. I threaded the needle through there. Oh my. Got him. Got him too. Oh, he's still alive. Nope, no he's not. No, he's not. No, the fuck he's not. Not on my watch. Let's go! That's a team wipe. Oh, that's my turret.
They filed for resignation violently.
Clutch.
Wakey, back to the battle. One after another.
I've done it again. Huge clutch. Again. Ice in my veins. Gotcha. Team wipe. Fucking chicken jockey. I'm going ballistic. Easy. So easy! Bang! What an animal. What an animal. 8-0 in the final round. I absolutely farted on him. I straight pooted on him out here. Holy, that was easy. Damn, 26-3 I think is what that said. Nice, bronze 4. We're already cruising up the ranks. Stop everything you're doing. You've got to check this out. I know that sounds like I'm trying to peddle cigarettes to you, but you really got to put your peepers on this puppy here. This is something fascinating. I just saw the wackiest robbery attempt. It wasn't really a successful robbery. It plays out like a skit. Like if you were playing pretend with your boys in middle school. It is so odd. It's like if a soccer mom picked up a hobby of crime instead of wine.
I need you to tell them that I am Rebecca Wilson and sorry. And that this is a robbery.
Now this is how you do character introductions. So she marches in, fee-fi-fo-fums her way up to the counter, brandishing a firearm, and introduces herself. She says that she's Rebecca Peterson. Now at first I thought that was like a fake name and she was trying to frame someone she didn't like, you know, the local book club or something that she attends. I thought she was like, "Oh, it is I, Rebecca Peterson, committing this armed robbery. Let the police know that Rebecca Peterson committed this robbery." Because I'm pretty sure she said, call the police and let them know Rebecca Peterson made this beat, committed this crime, that kind of thing. But it turns out that is her name. She is Rebecca Peterson. So this is extremely polite. "Excuse me, sir. You are being robbed by Rebecca Peterson." It's like some fucking Princess Bride shit here. And the way she's moving from side to side there, I think she's trying to dodge the camera. But I also don't understand why she's bothering, nor do I understand why she's bothering to put her hoodie up when she's still giving her full name to the cashier to identify herself with. It seems like at that point, goose is already cooked, cat's out of the bag. Why even bother trying to dodge the security camera?
Okay.
Put it down.
Okay.
Cashier is cool, calm, and collected. He's like, all right, I understand. Now put the gun down. And she does. He hits her with the Jedi mind trick, disarms her just like that.
There's a robbery. I'm telling you right now. There's a robbery.
What robbery? Oh my!
Yeah, she snapped out of the hypnotism attempt there from the cashier. Lets him know once again, putting her foot down. This is a robbery. We're not playing games here. It's not Weenie Hut Jr. And then just does a fucking desk pop there. Blasts the stand, which obviously frightens him. So it's not a fake gun or anything. She did come in here with a loaded weapon, and she'd been pointing it at this guy the entire time. That is some pretty scary shit there. Now, with the way she's acting, she's making it sound like she's placing an order, like, pardon me, one robbery. Please. Like, she's going about this robbery like she's expecting it to play out like something she saw on TikTok or like a movie or something. It's like she's getting directions from ChatGPT on how to conduct a armed robbery. It is so fucking peculiar. And her behavior is just alarming. It feels like she's not in her right mind. Like, it feels like, I don't know, maybe it's like some kind of psychotic episode or something, but it's very scary, especially for the cashier, who has this gun pointed at him this entire time.
What are you doing? What are you doing? The owner in the back room.
It's like when that shot went off, it confused her as well. She completely forgot that she was the one doing the robbery, so she's looking around like, who did that? Which one of you just shot this gun? Which one of you cowards just shit in my pants? I don't know, it's like she's under some kind of spell or something here, and the sound from the shot, like, briefly broke it, but then she goes right back into the robbery. The cashier's like, the store owner's in the back. Go to the back. The store owner's there. That's the guy you want. If you're robbing us, you got to start over there.
The robbery.
Yeah, the owner in the back room. The owner in the back room. Run!
I also love that he grabs a cardboard box as his, like, ballistic shield. Like it's straight out of Rainbow Six Siege. I understand being, like, panicked and afraid, so you're just looking for anything. I totally get that. But I love his strategy of, the owner's in the back room, run, what are you doing? What are you waiting for? Go, 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 go. He's getting away, go, go, go. That is a classic Looney Tunes strat of, he went that way, Doc. That way. He's over there. Go, go, go. What are you doing? Go, go. What's that over there? That kind of thing. And it actually works. So she's like, oh, okay, you're right. All right, I'm going to go over there now. So the cashier is like one of the most convincing men on the planet, it seems. He does get her to go to the back of the facility there, which I imagine gives him time to run outside, which I believe is what happened. He ran outside, he called the police came, they did arrest her. But we do have footage of her going to the back here. And she posts up like it's a James Bond poster. She just right down the pipe, bang, and actually hits the camera. A genuinely pretty impressive shot for someone who doesn't seem to have any training with firearms in the first place. She was clumsily able to hit the camera on the first shot there. Apparently, after failing to locate the owner in the back counting money like Scrooge McDuck, She then fled the scene. So she got into her car and allegedly tried to escape that way, but police were able to track her down. They picked up her scent somewhere along the way. They were able to apprehend her, and now she is currently awaiting arraignment and all that. So a very peculiar set of circumstances. The clerk also made a statement saying that he tried to remain calm and calm her down because he saw that her mentality was not awake, which I think he was very correct on. It definitely does appear that something has gone awry. It doesn't seem like she's all there. It does seem like it's some kind of psychotic episode or something, which very sad stuff, but very scary for the clerk there because she did come armed and willing to fire. She was letting that shit air out. She was clapping it. She fired a shot right at the checkout. She fired a shot at the security camera. Luckily, no one was hurt. She's now facing charges of attempted armed robbery, wanton endangerment, brandishing, assault, and destruction of property. Which sounds about par for the course based on everything we saw on the surveillance camera here. This whole thing was just really bizarre. I had to just yap about it a little bit when I saw it earlier today. I don't know if it was a mental health crisis or drugs or what, but man, the clerk there must have been fucking terrified when that gun went off. I also read in another article covering this from a local agency that he was covering for a friend's shift when this unfolded. So I don't think he's going to be super willing to do that anymore going forward. But anyway, yeah. Just wanted to yap about this a bit because I was stunned with the footage I saw. That's really about it. So, yeah. Oh, thanks for stopping by. Welcome to the Smile booth. Can I take your order? One ear-to-ear grin? Good choice. Coming right up. I want to give you something to actually, this isn't even sarcasm. I want to give you something to actually smile about. The biggest charity stream ever is currently going on right now, and the amount of money that it is raising for an organization called Cancer Fighters is extraordinary. It comes from Polish streamers Lotwogang. I'm sure I butchered the pronunciation. I'm so fucking sorry. I don't know how to say it properly. Anyway, 9 days ago, they started a stream to raise money for a charity called Cancer Fighters. You can see that they had a goal of 10,000 zloty, which is roughly 2,700 USD, over the course of the 9 days. What has unfolded is genuinely extraordinary. They went well above that goal. They soared far higher than that, and it became the most successful charity stream ever. As of me making this video right now, the 9 days has just now ended, and I don't want to spoil the surprise for how much they raised, but whatever you're thinking, those are rookie numbers. You're going to need to drastically pump those numbers up. You're going to need to double it, maybe even triple it, because this was the record-breaking charity stream that I genuinely don't think people would ever guess to the amount of money that was raised. It is incredible. This had Polish celebrities, influencers, television stations, everyone coming together not only to watch it, but also to donate and support, the money going directly to children battling cancer through this organization called Cancer Fighters. It became just all of Poland supporting this. And what they have achieved is awe-inspiring.
To pędzi! Nie przestajemy, pełna! Dobrze. Jaką? No jaką? Się nigdzie nie wybieram, ciągle tutaj jestem. Dawaj Maja tego pozera. Ciągle tutaj jestem.
This was a little 6-7 treat here for everyone. 67 million zloty comes out to around 18 million USD that they had raised as of that moment. That's not where it capped out. I just wanted to show you that one because I found it to be kind of wholesome, and also that video right there does kind of explain some of what was going on with the stream. At the time, 550,000 viewers is what the stream was peaking at. And if you thought that's the highest peak it could reach, you'd be a damn fool. You'd be like my pediatrician who predicted that I would cap out at 5'8". Except I didn't reach 5'8". I stopped at 5'6". So you'd be the opposite of my pediatrician, because they kept growing. I stopped growing at 5 foot. They went way above 550,000 concurrent viewers and way above $18 million raised.
Wyrok! Rak to nie 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 wyrok! Zapamiętajcie to, rak to nie wyrok! 200 milionów, ale to jest tylko część tego wszystkiego! Te pieniądze ratują życie! Ratują życie, słuchajcie!
Here's the moment that they hit 200 million zloty raised for cancer fighters, which comes out to right around $55 to $56 million. And they're still not done, by the way. Still only climbing from here. Their stream peaked, from what I was seeing, at 1.6 million concurrent viewers. That number in and of itself is absolutely fucking incredible, but it's even more wild when you look at the population of Poland. Poland has a population, from what I read, about 37 million people. So 1.6 million accounts for a little over 4% of the entire population of Poland was tuning into this stream and raising money for kids battling cancer. And again, from what I read about with this charity and this charity stream, 100% of those donations are going directly to that cause. So it is just an outstanding thing, and it's so incredible to see all of that support. And that brings us to the grand total. It just concluded after the 9 days. The charity stream from Latwo Gang raised over 250 million zloty, which is around $68 million. Amazing. Genuinely amazing. I wanted to yap about this a little bit because I think this is such a positive thing. It started with a goal of $2,500 and it concludes 9 days later over $68 million to help children battling cancer. An amazing stream, an amazing achievement. I just wanted to yap about it a bit. It's really about it. See ya. It's been a little while since I told a story, so I figured it was about time that I sit you all down by the campfire and put some fear in your boners. I'm going to tell you a really recent story, something that I think everyone can take a lesson away from and use it in their everyday lives. So before I really dig into the meat of this, I want to preface this by saying I have not pissed my pants in a very long time. Now that that's off the table, let's get into what the story is about. As you've probably surmised from that intro, it's about pee-peeing in the pants. It's about a time where I flirted with that devil. And this all takes place in the mythical year of 2019 AD on October 4th. It was literally 6 days ago as of recording this video. It was right before going to happy hour, and if you watch my streams at twitch.tv/moistcritical, you know that the streams are fucking bangers, and that I also pee a lot. I drink a lot of water, which means I'm constantly expelling a lot of urine from my body at jet stream-like pace. I really fucking pressure wash my toilet when I get in there to do that business, so if urinating is considered a game of chess, then I'm the goddamn grandmaster. Now, this was right before going to happy hour. I had just gotten all dressed up and spruced up, ready for action, and we needed to pick my friends up before going to the bars we were going to. But before going, I had the little inkling of a pee-pee coming on. It was still brewing, but it hadn't matured yet. So I figured there really wasn't any point to doing that. The bars weren't far, my friends weren't far. I'd just hold it till I got there and then just do my business out there in public. Just kind of to assert my dominance, like, hey, I'm not afraid to mark a urinal with my seal of approval. I'm not afraid to stamp this with my penis juice. So I just wanted to wait. I didn't see the point in going before heading over. That being said, on the journey to my friend's place, it was still very tame, very manageable, barely even noticed it. Got to my friend's place, didn't notice it. The second they got in my car, it's like they unleashed the piss demon. All of a sudden, all at once, it hit me like a fucking brick. Like a train had left the station, a bullet train, and it was hitting my bladder. There was no putting this genie back in the bottle. I was going to tinkle, it was just a matter of where. In my nice trousers, in a dirty bathroom somewhere on the way, or on the side of the road. The last two options weren't exactly options, because to get to the bar you had to go over this pretty long bridge, and there was no way I was going to be able to hold it through the duration of the bridge, so I'd be just trapped like a prisoner in its cell in the car, just urinating all over my friends. Or I'd have to hold it and literally cork my cock, and I'd probably fucking drown internally with urine pouring out of my mouth like I just swallowed a cyanide capsule of urine. It was just a nightmarish situation because I really had to go. So I informed Tiana, who was now driving, and I told my friends, look, I'm sorry to be an inconvenience, but we got to pull over somewhere to go to the bathroom because I'm going to literally ruin our happy hour and turn it into the not so happy hour by coating this entire car in piss. So they understood, but the problem was there really wasn't anywhere to stop. There was no real gas stations on the way to the bridge, so we'd have to go out of our way to find one for me, and my friends didn't really want to do that, so they're trying to encourage me to just go piss somewhere next to a dumpster around some of the dilapidated buildings, because the area on the way to the bar looks like it's been hit by a nuclear missile, but I didn't want to take that chance. Because a friend of mine got put on the sex offenders registry for public urination. He got caught while peeing next to a building, or on the side of a building, and I just didn't want to roll those dice at all. I bet if I had just went down to take a piss by a building, a fucking cop would have popped out of a bush in a ghillie suit and said gotcha on me. I didn't want to, risk that at all. I'd drop trow for 1 second, just unzip, and all of a sudden a police car fucking drift in sideways, just sirens blaring, and then take me down just for public urination, and then all of a sudden, bang, I'm a sex offender. I just didn't want to risk that at all. I didn't want to take that chance at all, so that was not an option for me. We were going to go out of our way to one of the gas stations that I knew of, and it wasn't that far out of the way, so it wasn't a huge inconvenience, but I still felt bad. Unfortunately, the gas stations were of no help, and also the gas stations look like something straight out of the Fallout universe as well. But the first gas station we go to, everything looks okay. There's a bathroom there, which is a plus. It's one of the bathrooms that's on the outside, so you need a key to get into it. So all confidently, while I'm like basically grabbing my cock, just trying to keep everything where it needs to be before I explode with urine, I go in there waddling in and I say to the guy, hey, look, I've got to use your shitter. Can I get the key to that bad boy? And he's not all there. He sounds like he's one Xanax bar away from just total overdose and collapse. So I couldn't understand most of the words he said, but he kept mumbling about the hot dog man. I didn't know what that meant. I thought he was making like idle conversation. Maybe there was a hot dog vendor outside that he wanted me to go buy from before he gave me the key. I didn't know, so I asked him, what are you talking about? The hot dog man? Who's a hot dog man? I love hot dogs, even though I fucking hate hot dogs. Just anything to get that fucking key. Felt like it was a mission in a video game that I needed to get that key to complete the quest. But so I'm making this small talk, and his answers make no sense to me. He's like, no bathroom, hot dog man. So then I'm starting to connect these dots in my head. Okay, so the hot dog man, no bathroom. Hot dog man must have gone in there and wreaked havoc. He must have just fucking tore that bitch down and lit it on fire with an explosion from his ass or something. So this bathroom is decommissioned is what you're telling me, right? Bathroom is not working because of hot dog man. He just shakes his head, no. Hot dog man. I felt like I was in a goddamn horror movie, as if like the hot dog man was terrorizing this area like the fucking Slender Man. I didn't know what he was talking about with the hot dog man. All I knew was I was not getting that key from him. So I walked out all disappointed because I knew I wasn't getting the key, and it's all because of this menace, the hot dog man, who I'd never even fucking heard of in fairy tales. So I had to waddle back to the car disappointedly, and even in more of a rush, the sense of urgency was overwhelming. Felt like the entire universe was collapsing inside on me. Also, as a side, there was no hot dog vendor outside. There wasn't even the remnants of what could have been a hot dog vendor at any point in time. So I don't know who the fuck this hot dog man is. But anyway, we go up another maybe mile up the road where I know another gas station is, and it's just as decrepit as this one. And this one was like a goddamn orgy of weirdos. There was one guy who I am 100% sure was on spice, because he was just fucking fumbling around. Luckily, he had hit just enough spice so he wasn't totally nude and dragging his dick on the floor, but he was at that level of spice where he can't really stand up properly, and he has a football that he's throwing against a wall and hitting himself with in the face off the rebound. So that's the kind of place we were at looking for this bathroom, and I knew it was going to be gross, and I'm a bit of a germaphobe, but I was throwing that aside because I needed to be strong, because I didn't want to piss myself, because I hadn't pissed myself in at least a long time. I don't know. I was trying to think of like an exact time I pissed myself, but it's been a long fucking time. I have a pretty clean streak there, and I wasn't about to have that collapse on this night. So we get to this disgusting gas station, and it's another one where the bathroom's on the outside, so I need to go in to get the keys. There's a guy in there playing the lottery, and he's taking a long time scratching it off. That's fine. That's not his fault. He doesn't know that I'm about to explode behind him like an IED of urine. So I'm not mad at him at all. He was none the wiser, not his fault or anything. When he's finally done, I go up to the counter. I say, hey man, can I get the keys to that turbo shitter? I gotta go do some business over there. He's super cool about it, gives me the keys, and I'm on my way. The guy who's throwing the football now fixates his eyes on me, and he wants to get me involved in his game. I can tell because while he couldn't really get the words out properly, he was making motions like, I'm gonna hit you with this spiral real quick, Tom Brady style, and I just... I'm putting my hands up like, please, no, thank you, politely, I've got to use the restroom. Finally get around the corner to where the bathrooms are on the side of the place. There's a man asleep on the curb in front of the bathrooms. I don't know if he was passed out or just really tired. Maybe at one point he was the gate guardian of the bathrooms, but now that he found bath salts, now he just sleeps there. I really don't know. But, I go... not over him because I was already on the side. I go around him, and then I finally put that key into the bathroom, and a sense of elation and jubilation just fills my whole body as I finally turn it, and I open it, and I'm greeted with the most unholy smell this world has ever concocted. It smelled like a fucking hate crime. It was the most repulsive, revolting smell I've ever smelled in my life, and I've smelled some shit. I've smelled some serious shit, but this was something else. This smelled like the hot dog man had gone there, killed somebody, and then took a shit all over the corpse. And it's really weird because the toilet itself was pristine. The toilet was clean enough to drink out of, eat off of. It was a fantastic looking toilet, not a speck of dirt or poopy in sight. But the bathroom itself was tainted with the remnants of 1,000 angry spirits that were all shitting in unison. It's no doubt the work of the hot dog man. There's not a single doubt in my mind. He must just be like a serial bathroom shitter. Just goes around shitting in all the bathrooms, fucking terrorizing them, ruining them for people that gotta pee like me. But I really don't know. Anyway, the smell was so overwhelming. For just a brief moment, I relaxed my penis sphincter, and a little bit of urine dripped onto my boxers. I don't count that as pissing my pants because it was just enough where it only dribbled out, and I was able to once again voluntarily collapse the muscle so it didn't squeak out anymore as I finally approached the toilet, and I finally released the sweet relief into the toilet, and I finally peed. I couldn't breathe. It was fucking hazardous to my health, no doubt, with all the shit particles floating around in the air, but god damn it, I finally peed. So the lesson to take away from here, just when you feel like even like the smallest amount of pee building inside of you, just piss. It's gonna get worse. You're gonna just need to pee. Don't try and hold it. Don't be a hero like I was, because you might find yourself in a similar situation where you dribble on yourself and you visit a really disgusting smelling bathroom that really just ruins your sense of smell for like a good 2 hours. But anyway, that's the story. The lesson to learn: pee when you feel like you have to, even a little bit. Don't try and hold it, because that is just absolutely devastating and leads to this domino effect of unfortunate circumstances and a lot of stress. That's it. So yeah. I love aliens. I love UFOs. You know I keep my finger on the pulse of anything related to extraterrestrial activity. I've even set up my own homemade tuning fork so that way I'll know if there's any big three-titted alien babes that are cruising through. The thing is, I wasn't even going to bother talking about this latest batch of UFO files because they are just completely worthless. There was tremendous amounts of hubbub about declassifying these files. This is the truth. We're going to drag you kicking and screaming. You're not ready, but we're going to make sure you're ready. Swallow your vegetables anyway. Here it is. Cosmic beings, UFOs. And then what they actually declassified was just that. Nothing is what they declassified. There is genuinely nothing interesting in there, yet they continued to like hype and glaze it up. It's just trash. There's nothing even worth talking about. Like, yeah, there's the star-shaped entity thing, but that's really it. Everything else is stuff we've already seen a bit about, and others are just completely embarrassing. Why was it uninteresting? There was just nothing substantial is the problem. Just more bleh. I don't know, man, that artist rendition was pretty convincing. Oh. Actual site photo with FBI lab rendered graphic overlay depicting corroborating eyewitness reports from September 2023 of an apparent ellipsoid bronze metallic object materializing out of a bright light in the sky. It's pretty thought-provoking. Also, if this is what FBI lab-rendered graphics look like in 2026, that's pretty insane. You gotta give them time to catch up, man. Technology's advancing quick. They're still on that GeoCities vibe. It takes time. That shit needs DLSS 5. It's from a game in the 90s. Is it? They just grabbed an image from a game? An old 90s game? So yeah, the alien files weren't anything super cool. Still nothing. It's still no pickles. Oh, I didn't even read the statements they said about it. This is unprecedented transparency in what the US government knows about UFOs, Hegseth said, adding, these files hidden behind classifications have long fueled justified speculation, and it's time the American people see it for themselves. We can't handle this kind of truth, man. You gotta keep this under wraps. This is gonna cause a nationwide panic. He's right. Dagnabbit, he's right. From a game that was on 7 floppy disks split across them due to file size. This was probably very innovative for its time, if that's the case. Don't copy that floppy. Any day now, though, we'll get some really irrefutable, hard proof of extraterrestrial visitation. I'm telling you. See, look, they're even teasing it. There's more to come. Government saying new materials will be released on a rolling basis every few weeks as records are found, reviewed, and declassified. I am salivating. I can't wait to see the next batch. No, like I said, my dad thought that this was nothing. He texted me last night saying that it was a big nothing burger. Yeah, that was unprompted too. Usually he doesn't get the latest UFO drops, but last night I guess he was just seeing it somewhere and he texted me, said, the released UFO vids are a real nothing burger, exclamation, exclamation. What a joke, exclamation, exclamation. So he was pretty upset. He sounds so invested. Well, I mean, he is to a certain degree. He doesn't keep up with, like, the latest baloney dumps, like the fucking spheres, the goddamn flying colanders, and, like, little soccer balls in the sky that people go crazy over. He doesn't care about that shit. But when it comes to, like, file releases and stuff, he at least tries to stay on top of it and take a look. But so far, he has not seen anything convincing. So he's not active in the UFO subreddit. He is not. He certainly doesn't like that very much. They're hiding the real UFO pictures like Bubble Bass hiding the pickles under his tongue. Brother, I've got bad news. I'm gonna rip the Band-Aid off. There is none. Like, I'm sure they have some, like, wacky files and stuff, because they had so many old school weirdo projects, like the MK Ultra stuff. They also had all of these, like, astral projecting projects that they were doing, the CIA was conducting with, like, the psychics and stuff, which is why, like, a year ago you saw those articles about the declassified CIA documents confirming that there was giants on Mars. But if you actually look at it, what they were doing is they had these drug-induced maniacs go in, fucking blindfold them and try and, like, guess cue cards that they were holding, and then they'd tell them stories about how they astral projected onto Mars and had conversations with giants. Like, you're not going to find anything, like, actually convincing when it gets declassified, because they did some fucking nut job shit in the CIA back in, like, the 60s and 70s. They were actually trying to do, like, Marvel X-Men stuff. And then they wrote about it as if it was, like, successful. So, like, ESP, mind readers, astral projectors, time travelers, they had all of these kind of wacky programs. They also killed a lot of people. Well, I mean, in the pursuit of mutants and superhumans, that's to be expected. The gay bomb, too. Oh, the gay bomb is a classic. The gay bomb actually is a classic. The thought being drop a bomb that would cause all the dudes to just start fucking each other and not fight anymore. The enemy is gay now. But they still shot at us. I do love that thinking, though, like that's going to somehow be a really effective weapon. Like, let's just assume it works. Let's assume they did create the gay bomb. They deploy it. Now all the soldiers have sex. They all blow their load. Then they go right back to what they were doing before. So you bought yourself, like, a couple of minutes where they're fucking, and then what? It was a truly baffling proposal. Might backfire on your own army. Oh, can you imagine transporting the gay bomb, but it springs a leak? Then the plane crashes because everyone's fucking themselves ferociously. No! We made the whole plane gay! No, it's gay! Shit! The one thing we couldn't plan for! No! Yeah, it was interesting stuff, man, I'm telling you. Those declassified files and the ones that we keep getting have some really wacky projects the government looked into at the very least. Some actively pursued. Oh, point I was making, to tie it back to the alien stuff, I do not think they have anything like groundbreaking in regards to aliens. Like, I don't think there's alien bodies, alien weaponry, alien craft that they've ever recovered or anything like that. Surely they have, like, unexplainable aerial phenomena, like stuff that they've already declassified, like the tic-tac, that kind of stuff, which is interesting, but I don't think it's extraterrestrial. I don't think they have anything, like, that's going to make you go, oh my god, aliens are real and they were here. Because I don't think aliens have ever been here. Because if they have, we would have never known about them. They're not going to get all the way here and fucking crash. That's not going to happen. The technology that they would need to get here, it would be unthinkable that it would somehow malfunction here. You can't even begin to understand and comprehend the technology that would be necessary for a different species to make it here. It defies our understanding of everything. But you can't debunk that tic-tac, can you? I can't. I don't know what it is, but I just don't think it's extraterrestrial. I don't think it was aliens in their cruiser. Just because I can't explain it doesn't mean that that's the default correct answer. You can't tell me whether or not there's poop in my pants right now. There's no way. You can make a guess, but you don't know. This whole Andy Byron affair with Kristen Cabot is probably the most gripping cheating scandal this nation has seen since Tiger Woods boinked like 2 million women. It is crazy how big this story has become. It's up there with like Bill Clinton catching the Blowjoptimus Prime from Monica Lewinsky in the Oval Office. I'm assuming all of you know the Cliff Notes. I already made a video like when it happened, but I am so enthralled in this story. I'm like parasocially following it now at this point.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. I'm not quite sure.
You couldn't have had a more suspicious reaction to being briefly put on the Jumbotron. Andy Byron acts like a fucking Oblivion NPC that just got hit with 10 arrows. He just quickly, like, went limp. And Kristen turned around in shame and then fled. It was very clear that something was awry. The Coldplay singer even calls attention to it like they might be having an affair or they're just very shy. And it was an affair. That is Andy Byron and the chief people officer at his company on a romantic evening at a Coldplay concert. And it turns out that this wasn't just some squeaky clean date. It wasn't just these two attending a hootenanny in good fun and good spirits. No, this was sin. Turns out, big spoilers, Andy Byron was married, will likely not be married going forward now that his wife has found out. He may also not have a job going forward either now that the whole world has found out that he's been doing the old bedroom ham sandwich with his HR head, the Empress of Chief People Officering. Both Andy and Kristen have both been placed on leave at the company, Astronomer. Astronomer has taken action against them since this is all blown up here. At least they'll have more time to spend with each other. Now they can go on a picnic and be unafraid, because Lord knows his wife is probably not going to stick by him. From what I've seen, she's changed her name on Facebook and then deactivated all of her socials. I don't think she's too pleased here. Now, before I stir the pasta a bit further with the follow-up that's happened since this has gone so viral, I would like to briefly talk about what everyone else has been pointing out of how easily avoidable this was for the two of them here. And I don't mean just the obvious solution of just not going to the Coldplay concert in the first place and just staying at home transplanting farts into each other or whatever. I mean, like, even when they were on the Jumbotron, it still wasn't checkmate. It was their reaction that brought down the house of cards here. Had they just played this off normally, like they just laugh at the Jumbotron and wave, probably no one would have even been, like, tipped off that something was awry. Like, I guess there's a chance, like, one of the astronomer employees might have seen it, but your odds are pretty good that that would have just flown under the radar and they would have continued to get away with it. Now, of course, you shouldn't be cheating on your significant other in the first place, but if you're going to, and you happen to be plastered on the Jumbotron, the worst thing you can do is this, where they acted like there was a fucking bazooka being aimed at them, like there was about to be like a fucking predator missile that hits them. The way that they reacted to that. So immediately everyone could sniff something was very stinky here. Anyway, though, let's take a peek at a little bit more of the follow-up. Also, you should take a peek at GamerSupps. Go to gamersupps.gg and get any of the amazing flavors for sale there using code MOIST to get some money off your order. Or you could just get the best flavor on GamerSupps as well, Goof Juice. I wanted to just mention that real quick because I've been fucking pounding Goof Juice since the cans came out. So, Astronomer made the announcement that they are both being placed on leave, for obvious reasons. In the meantime, someone named Pete DeJoy is going to be serving as CEO. They were previously the Chief Product Officer and co-founder of Astronomer, and they put out a statement on LinkedIn that states, "Our leaders are expected to set the standard in both conduct and accountability," and then that the Board of Directors has initiated a formal investigation into this matter, and we will have additional details to share very shortly. They also then addressed some of the incorrect information that was going around the internet, which was the misidentification of another person in the clip, which was the person that was laughing, the woman next to them that was laughing. They were identified as another Astronomer employee, but the statement from the company saying that is just not true. That's a load of fish paste. And they also shot down the bogus statement that was spread claiming that it came from Andy Byron himself, but it was not shot out by Andy. That butthole did not squeak out that terrible fart of a statement. It was clearly just a joke, and they are clearing the air on that it's not actually from Andy Byron. I also just learned this, which I found to be an amazing cherry on top of the cake. Apparently, Coldplay's Chris Martin had just warned fans that they might be plastered on the Jumbotron, saying, "Now what we'd like to do is say hello to some of you. The way we're going to do that is using our cameras. You can look at the screens and we can see who's out there and say hello. Let's go looking, please." And then inevitably it goes to Andy and Kristen and the rest is history. But I can't believe that they even got like a warning here. Like, they were even given, like, a fucking DEFCON alert, like the air raid sirens were going off on this affair, and they still just disregarded it. Like, they had plenty of time for Andy to slap on, like, the big glasses and the nose and mustache, and just, like, pretend he doesn't know who that woman is. But he was just, like, in love. That man was seeing hearts floating around his head, and he wouldn't let go of Kristen come hell or high water, and then hell arrived. Chris Martin got the cameras on them. And the affair was broadcast to everyone. I'm still eagerly awaiting a statement from either Andy or Kristen. I thought for sure they would have released one by now, just because of how big this is, and they did have high-ranking positions at this company. I thought for sure they would at least put something out, but they haven't yet. So maybe they won't. Maybe they'll stay very tight-lipped on all of it and just quietly go into the background. And that'll be that. But my heart does break for his family. I think that is fucking horrible, and I can only imagine what they're going through right now. That has got to be miserable. So I'm wishing them the best. And yeah, I just want to give you a little follow-up here, because it's pretty fucking crazy. That's really about it. So yeah. Ass, poop, and everything stinky. These were the ingredients chosen to create the perfect TikTok prankster. But Professor Goober accidentally added an extra ingredient to the concoction: chemical cringe. And thus, this loser was born. This is some complete trash, garbage, doo-doo that I just have to clown on this guy for. He should be ashamed.
Yo, there's a guy chasing me. There's a guy chasing me.
Where the fuck is he? Yo, where the fuck do you fuck my girl, bro?
This gut buster is his bread and butter. He's done this exact prank numerous times. He really likes this one. It's his Kamehameha. This is his signature move here. And it's a tried and true classic from TikTok pranksters where they go into fast food establishments and treat the workers like subhuman props for them to walk all over and disturb for the sake of their content. That's the joke. Haha, guys, let's go fuck with the employees making minimum wage, not able to live off of their salary, and just make sure their day's a little bit worse. And maybe if we're lucky, we'll even, scare them. Like in some of his videos, some of the employees, actually freak out and run away because they don't know what's going on. These could be unhinged, dangerous lunatics there that have, a gun or a knife, and they're just running around the back yelling and screaming, hooting and hollering. So, yeah, the employees are naturally going to be afraid, and that's golden to people like this. They love that kind of shit. Teehee, they think we're gonna kill them or something, like their lives in danger, but actually it's just us pranking them. Ha ha ha. Oh yes, the cloud is gonna be so juicy.
What the fuck's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, bro? I'm like there, bro. Come on, bro.
Go.
Come on. Come on, bro. Come on. Come on.
Did you hear how loud that was at the end? Oh, jump scare. That's also a good joke. He ends all of his videos with that little sound bite, a little bit of the, eardrum blasting comedy. And that's one of his favorite pranks. This is the one I wanted to start with because I hate this shit so much and it's so common for fucking worms like this to do this, where they just believe everyone working a normal job is just an NPC that they can go and just disturb and be a nuisance and spread misery, so that way they can make content out of it. Now, typically, when I cover douchebags like this, I like to crop their name out. I do that because I don't want anyone to go harass them, and especially for pranksters, anyone that does trickle on over there is a net positive to them. They love that their name gets out there in any capacity whatsoever, no matter what it is, even if it's getting shit and spit on, it doesn't matter. They are these shameless latrines, and they're more than willing to gobble all the piss and shit imaginable as long as it gets them attention. So I always like to make sure that the names aren't visible. In this guy's case, it's impossible because he's so proud of this vile garbage, this embarrassing trash, that he even watermarks the video itself. So you can see his name is Tyler. He puts his stamp of it. This is Tyler's work. Tyler made this shit-ass beat. Now, I want to make a special shout-out to Tyler's loser friends because I think they're actually even more pathetic than Tyler, and this is something I say a lot. The pranksters are awful, but their friends are even worse because they don't even get anything out of it. So this guy, who has to be the cuckold, by the way, the role that Tyler gives this shirtless guy in sunglasses is the cuckold who is chasing him around because Tyler fucked his girl. So not only is he playing the cuck in the video, but he is also a real life cuck because he does all of this and doesn't see a penny. Tyler at least makes a little bit of money off it, like a handful of doubloons. He's not like a big creator by any means, but he definitely does have some monetization here. So he gets something in return for it. But his friends don't. They are literally just there so Tyler can use them as his lackeys, his little sidekicks that actually willfully, on purpose, play the role of Tyler's bitch for no gain at all. Not even a mention in the description or in the video or anything, not a link to them that I can find, nothing. They just proudly be Tyler's bitch.
Yo, he fucked my girl. Nah, it's none of that. It's none of that. Somebody's chasing me. He's chasing me. Yo, he's chasing me. He's chasing me. Yo, what the fuck? Yo. Nah, it's none of that. Where you at? Yo.
Out the store.
What?
Out the
What?
store. Out the
Yo,
store.
nah, he fucked my girl. It's none of that. He fucked my girl, gang. He fucked my girl. Bro, he fucked my girl, gang. Bro, nah, I'm really on timing, bro. Get out!
Like I said, he's done this one multiple times. He keeps taking encore performances that not a single soul is asking for outside of lobotomized children that are just so fucking brain rotted that they're doomed from the start. But I wanted to show you this one in particular because you can actually see the fear on the employees as these assholes are just rampaging through the back, trashing the place. place. The employees are afraid. You can even hear one of them yell. Like, I imagine that has to be an extremely frightening situation. Like, you have no idea what's going on, and now all of a sudden, these two fucking douchebags are running through there yelling and screaming.
Right? Can you help you?
Oh! Oh! What the fuck are you doing?
I did not scan anything, sir.
Yeah, you did. Yes, you fucking did. Yes, you did. Yeah, you did. Yes, you did.
Do you want to see my phone?
Yeah, I do.
Hey, yo.
Hey, what? Hey, yo, what? Who the fuck are you to put your phone near my wife's phone? And I watched you when I was walking up.
No, don't touch it.
It's his phone.
I don't give a shit.
This is my phone.
Fuck up and mind your business. You want to get in my face? And held his. You want to get in my face now?
Yo, get out of here. You're lucky I don't throw you. Get out of here. Go. Get out of here before you can't leave. Leave.
It's such a shame. That's a top 10 saddest anime moments right there that Tyler didn't actually get his ass beat there. I really wish that guy had swung on him. Tyler is always so confident to do his pranks on elderly people or employees that are currently working, so that way there's less chance of him actually getting, a bit of knuckle sandwiches being fed to him. But in this case, he did teeter on the edge and got pretty close. I have no doubt he was tinkling in his little britches. No matter how hard he tries to hide behind the gong sound effects, you can kind of hear the panic in his voice in the actual confrontation. Tyler also only follows pranks that others have done before him. He just bites onto their ass like a little hemorrhoid and does the pranks himself and does them even worse. So this Apple Pay prank was something that was pretty big on TikTok for a little while, where pranksters would go up with their phone, they'd have it make a noise when they tap it towards a stranger's phone, making them believe that something nefarious had just happened, that they had stolen money from them or some kind of Apple Pay scam or something. So these people here now believe that this stranger, Tyler, has stolen from them, which is why they're so upset. That's the whole point of the prank. Haha, they think I stole money from them. Get pranked. Ha 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 ha.
Think they like M&M's? Oh. 40 spot later.
No, I don't think that'll be the case, Greaseball. I heard Tyler's already booked out the remainder of your schedule. You've got to pretend that he fucked your girl again for the millionth time while you chase him around for his video to make money off of you being a pathetic little loser.
540? Boss, you gotta be playing with my balls right now, because that is way too much.
Way too much. I'm not paying for all that.
You're the guys who put it all on the counter.
You could donate it to us.
No, I cannot. It has to be paid for.
Here's one of his latest bangers where he grabs tons of items from the gas station, puts them on the counter, acting like he's gonna buy it, lets the cashier ring up tons and tons of items, which is a tedious process, but he's ringing up all the items. Then when he's telling him what he's going to need to pay, he's like, well, that's way too much. Shouldn't it just be free? We're wasting your time. That's the joke. We're wasting your time while you're working, and we're filming you. You're a prop, bud. You're a prop. So can you get irritated? Because that helps bring in clicks. We're annoying you. That's the joke. And then, when this is all over and we're not paying for this, obviously, then you get to go put all of these items back on the shelf. That's your job, bro. And we're making fun of you for it. We're making it worse for you. For our TikTok, dude.
What I'm about to do to Bob? Do to Bob. Me and Hoyoyoy and erase the square.
I don't give a fuck what the fuck that's supposed to be, because it don't mean shit to me. 540 for what I've scanned. You still haven't scanned a good $200. This is the kind of shit a fucking preschooler fucking pulls.
We're not getting this for free?
No!
Did anybody ever tell you you kind of cuss like a preschooler?
Holy, Tyler with the venom. The quick comeback there from Tyler. I really like that the employee just says, I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to mean. This is lame, children shit that you're doing here. This is embarrassing. You should feel bad about yourself. But it just doesn't set in on Tyler or his brain dead sidekick there. Because the only thing that matters to them are these trash TikToks. The internet attention from TikTok pranks. And the employee is rightfully angry because he just spent this time ringing up the items. He knows they're not going to put it back on the shelves. They 1000% don't have the neurons activation to even think about that being something to do. So he knows he's going to have to go do that. He's annoyed, and he immediately recognizes that this is supposed to be some kind of prank at his expense, which makes him even more irritated. Tyler tries to make some whack-ass Doodle Bob reference that fell flat on its face, which is really upsetting because I love Doodle Bob references, and Tyler's out here ruining it. He's just torching it. He's just so unentertaining. He doesn't make me laugh. Everything he says is nails on a chalkboard. He is just so fucking cringe.
I can cuss whoever the fuck I want. I'm 33, motherfucker.
Unk. Yo.
I don't give a fuck.
Yo, relax,
you can call
bro.
me Unk. I'm the coolest fucker in their 30s you'll ever fucking find.
Relax, bro. Your cheese is throwing up gang signs.
Either get out or fucking buy it. What's the choice, motherfuckers? Seriously, I have a job to fucking do, and you are stopping it.
I'm not paying for.
Then get the fuck out! What the fuck don't you understand? I don't give a fuck if it's an April Fool's prank. Get the fuck out! And
April Fools!
I don't give a fuck!
April Fools!
Joe!
April Fools!
Get the fuck out, motherfuckers!
April Fools!
Nice work, boys. You really got 'em. Everyone was giggling and spitting up on this one. You guys came together, you and your little goblin gremlins that follow you around, came together and ensured that a normal guy working a normal job, a job he probably doesn't want to be at, you ensured he had a much worse day. You made it a lot more miserable. So that way you could film it for your TikTok. What a slam dunk, Tyler. Really impressive stuff. And I know Tyler, nor none of his little mosquitoes that follow him around, I know they don't have a job. I know that they're really banking on this whole fucking TikTok prankster career to be like their future. I truly hope it doesn't work out for them. I hope he ends up working this same job and through some kind of karmic justice, he meets a Tyler himself that just makes his day fucking awful, just so he can see what that's like once. I think that'd be great. I don't know if that'll happen or not. I'm sure he probably has money from his parents. He seems like that kind of guy from everything I've seen. But anyway, he sucks. His friends suck. These pranks are trash. It's garbage. That's really about it. So yeah. A couple days ago, I made a video goofing around while covering the body cam footage that showed an officer being arrested after walking around flashing his badge at strangers in public. And by badge, I mean penis. And since then, I have been inundated with YouTube-recommended body cam videos. And one of these puppies really caught my eye just a little bit ago.
911, where's your emergency?
I'm at Kent State University. I need to get into my building, please.
Okay, is this an emergency? Can you look up the non-emergency number?
I need to get into my building, please.
Okay, I need you to look up the non-emergency number and contact the Kent State University Police
I need to get into my building, please.
What doesn't this dispatcher understand? Ellen needs to get into that building. She's got papers to grade and students to flunk. Like, what the fuck? Someone send over the National Guard ASAP to let Ellen into this building. Why is she locked out in the first place? What kind of nefarious plot is this from Dr. Evil trying to keep Ellen out of her office? This is unacceptable, and he's trying to direct her to the non-emergency line? Has there ever been a more pressing emergency quite like this? This is just disgusting. This dispatcher needs to have a stern talking to. Lord help us if Ellen ever got a hold of him on the horn.
You need to contact the Kent State University Police Department. This is not an emergency.
What is it? I need to get into my...
Look it up, ma'am. I'm going to let you go.
I don't know what it...
After the college professor repeatedly abuses 911, demanding an officer, she eventually gets her way.
Abusing 911? Why, yada? Are we in an alternate dimension here? What kind of circus is this? Am I taking crazy pills? This is an emergency! This is Ellen! She's worked at Kent State for over 2 decades. Hello? She's not able to access this building. Get the police over there lickety-split to let her the fuck in. Do you not know what position she holds at Kent State?
I'm the school director of the School of Health Sciences.
Gotcha.
I'll show you my driver's license, which is in the car. Can you get me into the building, please, so I can go pee?
Sure. Do you have anything to drink today?
I had a drink.
You had a drink?
A drink.
Okay. Because I can smell a little bit of alcohol on you.
Smell a little bit of alcohol. That's fine. You can.
Okay.
Is that a problem, officer? What's the crime? What's the charge? Enjoying a drink? A succulent after-hours beverage? For the Kent State Health School Director, Prime Minister, Turbo Ruler Empress? I
had a drink in my colleague's office. That's fine.
In your colleague's office? Where was that at?
In the annex.
Okay. How'd you get over here?
I walked.
You walked over here?
23, yeah.
Okay. I'd like to give you a couple tests just to make sure you're good to go because I don't want you driving if you've been drinking.
Sir, I'm fine.
Okay. Well, I can smell it on you and you're not able to use a card to swipe into the door. So it's
Sir,
a little...
this is not working. This is not working. Can I go pee, please?
Well, here's what I'm saying. You're trying to swipe 2 cards at the same time, which kind of shows me that you're lacking some motor functions.
Yeah, well, you're lacking manners. How about that? Put that in your pipe and smoke it. This is Ellen. She has worked at Kent State for over 2 decades. She is the Kent State health director, health rock and roll specialist or something. Yeah, maybe she was relentlessly calling 911 all because she couldn't quite figure out how to scan her card because she was a little too hammered. Who hasn't been there, huh? We've all been there. That door's tricky. That could fool even the most sober of us. All of us would be scanning 2 cards, even without alcohol. I'm sure it's a mistake that happens often. And she just, given her position of power, perhaps a bit of entitlement. Like, hey, I'm gonna need to start using police resources here to get this door open for me. It's fucking absurd, man. I gotta drop the sarcasm. So she's had a little bit to drink, apparently. And she's trying to scan 2 cards at the same time, which is obviously not working. The door's not opening. So then she immediately resorts to calling 911 numerous times here as if it's an actual emergency, diverting resources away from what could legitimately be real possible emergencies out there that now have to deal with this shit. It is a little wacky. I'll tell you what, Ellen. Not great.
I wouldn't want you to...
Can I go pee? Can I pee, please?
Yeah, here, I'll let you in to pee real quick and then we'll talk, okay? Do you have someone you could call?
My husband.
Okay. Do you want to go pee first and start working on calling him?
No, I don't. This is not okay.
What's not okay?
That you're gonna call my husband.
No, you're going to call him.
I'm fine.
I don't think you're okay to drive.
I think I'm okay to drive. I have a Tesla.
Checkmate, she has a Tesla. She can be extremely drunk and the car will get her home, no worries. What's the big deal? She has to pee. This officer just must not know who she is. This is Ellen. She's the health director. If she says she's okay to drive, she's okay to drive. She's the health director. She directs health, for crying out loud. Come on, she knows health better than all of us here. And if she just needs to tinkle a little bit, then hop in the old Tesla and get herself home while being, I guess, a little too inebriated to figure out how to open a door that I imagine she's opened thousands of times in the past, then we just need to forget about it and trust her better judgment.
Sir, I'm going to call your captain in a minute.
That's fine. You're not going to drive out of here.
You're not going to be okay.
Is there a bathroom back here you're using?
I'm sorry?
Is there a bathroom in this office you're using?
I'm going to go over there. I'm the school director of the School of Health Sciences, and I'm going to be okay.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Okay. I just need you to call somebody for me before I go.
I'll be fine.
She's too far. Okay. So she said she walked here, though?
So it doesn't seem like it's an emergency here. She doesn't need to hit the urination station urgently. She takes a small detour here to complete a side quest where she takes off the cap and gown in her office, and then also just stays in the office for quite a while to the point where the officers were concerned she crawled out the window to get to her vehicle and drive home. So then they go around the outside to check if she's still there, and they're about to get a big surprise.
Out to the parking lot that way. Yeah, she's trying to swipe like 2 cards at the same time to get in. No, you're not driving home.
Okay. Let's just call up a window. I mean, the window, there's definitely windows right there.
Turns out she's just sitting in the office now. Just blankly sitting there. Kind of looked like a horror movie scene, like right before a jump scare. I don't know what she's doing. I guess maybe she went over there to start giving some students failing grades for fun. Like maybe that's what she does when she's drunk, just flunk out some students just for the hell of it. I have no idea. But the whole thing was about her not being able to get into the building and how badly she needs to pee. So she calls the police multiple times. Eventually the police show up, smell alcohol on her, realize she might be drunk because she is not able to just swipe a card to get into a building because she keeps trying to swipe 2 cards, which is preventing her from accessing it. I'm also really surprised she even called the police in the first place for that. I don't know why she wouldn't just ask any of the people around her. There's other people on this campus. I'm surprised she didn't just go to anyone else and immediately resorted to going to police. Her sense of entitlement is just that large, I suppose. So anyway, now she's in there, just sitting there. Maybe she's peeing in the seat. I doubt it. but she's just sitting there and still refusing to call someone to drive her home or get an Uber or anything, and still insists she's going to drive.
You're harassing me right now. I don't appreciate it.
No, I'm just making sure you get home okay.
I'm going to be okay.
Okay. Well, I just need to make sure you call somebody here because I don't want you driving home.
I'm going to call Captain Gitman from Kent.
Who's that?
The captain of Kent, if you don't leave me alone.
What's his name?
Captain Gitman of Kent. I'm going to go to the bathroom, and you're going to leave me alone.
Captain Gitman of Kent. Sounds like the name of a character from Game of Thrones. Seems like the officers don't know who that is. I don't know if that's actually their captain or not, but apparently she's got a direct line to him. So, I guess, be ready.
I'm missing a best part that's out there.
It fell down out there?
Yeah. He's going to leave me alone, and I'm going to go home and go pee, and you're going to leave me alone.
Okay, but you're not going to drive.
I'm going to drive home.
Okay, ma'am, you're not going to drive.
I'm driving home, and you're going to leave me alone. I'm fine, and you're going to leave. I have water in my car. I'm fine.
I don't care if you have water in your car.
If she's not actually drunk, then it's just a pretty impressive aggression and sense of entitlement. Like, even the officers kind of chalk it up to her, under the influence. But if she actually is just sober, man, what a bad attitude. Like, she seems very miserable to be around. And also, this is entirely of her own doing. She called the cops multiple times to try and get them out there. They showed up exactly like she was asking for. So, like, she brought all of it on herself.
No, you're going to leave me alone. My husband just had surgery, and I'm driving.
Okay.
Home. Sir, you're going to leave me alone? Do you want me to take a breathalyzer? I'll do that for you.
Nope, don't have one.
What?
I don't have one.
Sir, you're going to leave me alone? I'm fine.
I would have been super curious to see the breathalyzer here, because she's saying she'd take one, but the officer, I guess, doesn't have one, which was pretty surprising.
I will. I have work. You can leave me alone. Look, I could not get in the building because you locked my building.
We didn't lock your building. It locks automatically.
Okay.
So we did you a service by letting you in here.
Okay, I could have driven home with my cab and Gail. So can I go pee, please?
I never told you you couldn't. Go ahead.
Not quite the checkmate maneuver she thought that was going to be. I couldn't get into the building because you guys locked it. Which obviously didn't happen. I don't think the officers pulled one over on her here with the fast one. She was swiping 2 cards and couldn't open her own building. And was calling the authorities to come do it for her. Again, she demanded they show up. Like, it's unbelievable. And now she's like, okay, can I go pee? Come on. Grow up. I want to go pee now. Is that okay? Do I have your permission to pee? And the officer's like, yeah, just go pee. Like, no one told you not to. Like, she's been in here for a while now and is still not peed like she said she really needed to do at the very beginning. Like, it's... I don't know, it does feel like maybe she drank a little too much, even though she likes to claim she's not drunk.
Jesus Christ. I've worked here for 28 years.
I understand.
So can you give me my other card back?
I don't have your other card.
I'm not intoxicated.
Well, I think you are.
I'm glad you think I am, but I'm not. And you can have your day. Thank you very much.
Okay. Can you call somebody for me?
Sure, I will.
Can you do that right now?
I will. In my car.
Now we're starting to get into the big stalemate territory. The officers are getting really annoyed here, just saying, please call someone. We cannot let you drive that vehicle while we believe you're intoxicated. And based on all the evidence here, like this interaction, she does appear to be intoxicated. She did mention drinking earlier. She claims it was just a drink. It does seem a little different. So, I think it's a pretty reasonable request to just say, can you just call someone, get an Uber, just fucking something, because drunk driving is bad. It's a terrible thing. But she continues to refuse it, and she gets more and more heated about all of it, and as you can probably imagine, it doesn't exactly go swimmingly.
Ma'am, listen, you've been here a long time. Please don't tarnish your own reputation by doing this, because we are going to arrest you if you try to leave here and drive your car. I promise. You're going to be arrested. And that is not what we want to do.
So my husband is home.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you said he just had surgery and he can't drive, right?
I'll call Captain Gitman right now.
There's no Captain Gitman.
He's here at my phone.
Okay, well, go ahead.
There's no Captain Gitman that works for
He works for Kent City.
No, he doesn't.
Bye. Have a good day.
Well, explained it all you could.
Yeah.
Now it just sounds like they're sad, like, oh fuck, we're gonna have to arrest Ellen. Ellen, she's been at the university for over 2 decades as the school director of health. Oh man, shocks. Jeepers. And she just keeps going on about this Captain Gitman, who they don't know who that is, so I'm assuming she's barking up the wrong tree there. Maybe there is a Captain Gitman that exists there in her phone, but like, what is he gonna do? Like, no, you boys, listen. She's got my permission to drunk drive home. Stand down. Like, if they don't know who Captain Gitman is, I don't think they would respect the authority of whoever answers that phone.
It is what it is at this point.
City Police Officer. He reports to you.
That's not accurate.
It's totally accurate.
Okay.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic...
All right, do you have all the stuff you need?
Captain Getman, call me back. It's Ellen Glickman.
You have a lanyard on your right side under your jacket, if that's what you're looking for.
Nope. I'm looking for office keys. You guys f*** me up. Thank you.
Are you going to be able to call anyone for me?
No, are you?
Okay, I'll take this one.
No, you would not take my...
All right, well, right now you're under arrest.
I'm calling my husband. Stop.
Okay, just relax. You're under arrest.
No, I'm not.
I've made my decision. You are under arrest.
I'm calling my husband.
Put your hands behind your back.
No, I'm calling my...
This feels like someone who's probably used to bullying people to get anything she wants and just kind of steamrolling around conversations in order to come out on top. And her hardball didn't quite work here. So after quite a lengthy period of time here, she finally, at the very end, concedes, saying, "Okay, I'll call my husband. Stop." But the officers have already had enough of it at this point, because she already said she'd do that a few times and then didn't, and then tried to call the imaginary captain, fucking super sailor, whoever she was calling. So they make the decision to arrest her, because it seems like she is still going to be driving herself home, because she keeps saying she's going to.
I'm really, really sorry.
It's okay. You're walking to this car right here.
No, I'm walking to my...
You're not walking to your car. You're not driving home.
Can you please call my husband?
No.
No, I'm really... Stop this! Call my husband. Please call my husband.
Stop.
Can you call my husband right now? Right now.
You can call him when you're being booked in.
I'm not being booked.
You are.
I'm really sorry for being an asshole.
So it's not because you're being difficult. It's because you're drunk.
I'm not drunk.
You are.
No, I'm not. Please take my phone. Please take my phone.
I already have your phone.
I'm sorry for being an asshole.
It has nothing to do with that.
I'm being an asshole. Thank you so much. Sir, I've worked here 28 years. Can I speak to somebody who's worked here a long time? Because
Hold on.
I've been here 28 years. Can you please...
Have a seat.
So they take her to the facility. She reiterates numerous times that she's worked there for 28 years, this and that, flexing her position and standing in the community for so long. Eventually, her son shows up to take her home and ensure she doesn't try and drive. She was charged with disorderly conduct, intoxication. After a plea deal in community and service, it was dropped. And you'd think that's where the story ends, but it doesn't. Because after all was said and done, and this was water under the bridge, she and her husband came back to try and argue.
I'm Lieutenant Campbell. How can I help you?
I'm Ellen Glickman. Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I wanted to chat with... Do you know who the officers were that night?
Yes, Officer White and Officer Womack.
So what would be the best way of chatting with them?
What kind of conversation are you wanting to have with them?
Peaceful. Yeah. I think there was errors on both sides.
Well, I'd have to disagree on that.
You do?
So, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
They were doing their jobs. Okay. And potentially could have saved your life by not letting you drive.
Well,
if you disagree with that, that's fine.
Shut that shit down pretty quickly. Why is she coming back here to try and argue with the officers from that night? Everything had already been settled. It had actually just totally been dropped after her community and service and plea. Yet she still wants to come over and make an issue. Like, I really think that shows her general attitude and the way that she carries herself. It is someone that is so used to, like, bullying her way through life, is the impression I get from all of this. This is just like an inexplicable decision to try and come over here and now try and have further conversations with the officers from that night. Which, no doubt, were not going to be overly peaceful, because she's already pretty upset, it seems, and still a bit heated about it, saying, oh, there were errors on both sides.
So
drunk.
I was not inebriated.
Okay, if that's fine.
You weren't there?
No, I was not there.
Okay, so there was a lot of, he was home with cancer and was post-op for about 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I was not intoxicated. I was sleep deprived. I had a drink. I have PTSD from y'all. My ex-husband was a cop.
Okay.
So there's a lot of stuff you didn't know. I was not given the opportunity to discuss. And
you were given many opportunities, and you did not take advantage of any of them.
Okay.
It is incomprehensible how she keeps doing this. So again, all of this started because she was calling 911, relentlessly about trying to get officers over there to open a fucking door for her. That's what started all this. And now, after the whole case has been done and dusted, all settled, she still goes out here and does this kind of shit again. It's so wacky. It's just so weird. And the officer did make a good point. They very realistically could have saved her life. Even if she wasn't drunk, she doesn't appear to have been in a good condition for being behind the wheel of a car in the first place. If it was sleep deprivation or whatever was causing that, it does not appear she was in a good state to be operating a vehicle. So, it is a very real chance that they saved her life there. Anyway, though, this professor was insufferably self-entitled, and I just had to yap about it after watching this Midwest safety video. That's really about it. So, yep. Now just breathe. Now big push, push, push. Here I am. There's a little birthing simulation for you for what it would look like if it was me that was popping out. I got a couple things I want to yap about today. And I think it's only appropriate that I start with the topic that I have been glued to for many months now, the degeneracy in the Pokemon card community. There's been another arrest.
Surprise discovery at a Best Buy in Pasadena. A man was found inside that closed store. A group of Pokemon card collectors were camping outside the Best Buy all night. They noticed a large police response and found out a man was still inside the store.
That is a surprisingly large police response there. That shit was looking like it was straight out of Rainbow Six Siege. They had blitz rolling up there. About this individual that was hiding inside of Best Buy, presumably camping the restock.
We heard from witnesses who say they believe that man was hiding in the Best Buy before closing so that he could get to those Pokemon trading cards.
That is peak male performance right there. Just take a peek at that perpetrator right there. That is the face of Team Rocket. This guy, I think we can say with a high level of confidence, was definitely there for the Pokemon cards. But I imagine he was doing it out of his own self-preservation. He's probably seen all of the knuckle sandwiches that are flying at Pokemon restocks, because that is when PvP is enabled and it is just people fighting, and Pokemon cards are secondary. They're trying to beat the goddamn loot out of everyone there like it's GTA, but instead of dropping money, they're dropping Pokemon boxes in the aisles. So this guy probably saw all of that kerfuffle and decided the safest way was to just already be there when the restocks happen so he could grab the product and get out before anyone gets a chance to give him a fucking atomic wedgie and beat his face in.
Pokemon 151. Oh. Yeah. We're here for the 151.
I was just here for some Pokemon drop, but I went to the restroom, not even 15 minutes. I come back and there's cops everywhere.
That man, there you see him, was taken into custody.
Admittedly, this is new. I haven't seen any scalpers get arrested for this yet. This guy is a pioneer in the meta for the degeneracy in this community. So he got arrested for being in Best Buy past store closing, camping out there like he's a fucking old school prank YouTuber where they spend 24 hours in Target, how naughty, hiding in the toilet paper aisle, that kind of thing. He tried to pull that off in order to get a leg up on the mad dash for the new restock, and he's getting thrown in the slammer for it seems. And they rolled in deep. They came up to this Best Buy looking like they were about to apprehend fucking Cobra Commander. But anyway, I wanted to yap about that guy's arrest, but now I want to get into a couple of other topics. First, the Call of Duty movie director. This is directed by a specimen named Peter Berg. Let me double check. I actually can't remember. This guy hasn't made anything good, so it's hard for me to remember his name. Peter Berg. It is Peter Berg. Peter Berg is the director that is slated to make the Call of Duty movie. This is an official production. This is a big budget Call of Duty movie. Peter Berg is most known, at least I believe, is most known for one of the most infamous flops that many people might recall, Battleship, the movie with Rihanna. That's some of Peter Berg's finest top-shelf work. And well, who better to make a Call of Duty movie than a washed-up director like Peter Berg? A crazy fit, but it gets better, because Peter Berg openly hates video games. He even specifically called out Call of Duty like 13 years ago. During an interview, Peter Berg was asked for his take on war video games, and he replied, pathetic, keyboard courage, can't stand it. The only people that I give a Call of Duty get-out-of-jail-free card to is the military. They're out there serving and they're bored and they want to entertain themselves. Okay, maybe. Kids? Uh-huh. And then he was asked if Navy SEALs play those games. He replied, some of them do, but I tell them I think it's pathetic. I think anyone that sits around playing video games for 4 hours, it's weak. Get out, do something. Yeah, get out, do something. Like, go watch Battleship the movie, directed by Peter Berg. I like how this fucking guy is a movie director, and he thinks that's just very high level, so much more sophisticated than playing games for a few hours, instead going to kill a few hours watching his dog shit films. He's so much better than you gamers. And then even says that he tells the SEALs that play games that they're pathetic. What a douchebag. What an absolute loser. So anyway, this is the director of the Call of Duty movie. He openly despises video games. I don't know if his mind's changed over the years. I doubt it. But it's actually so fascinating to me because this keeps happening. For some reason, the Hollywood humiliation ritual continues where they take huge juggernaut IP and then marry it to a director or a team that fucking hates it. Just openly, outright boasts about how much they don't like it. Most notably, the one I always go to is the Halo television series, where they even just stated proudly that they do not play the games and don't want to. They want to do something entirely different because they know better, that kind of thing. And there's plenty of examples of that happening with tons of IPs being adapted. And for some reason, they keep doing that, even though it always fails and flounders. And there is numerous cases of taking beloved IP and pairing it with someone who also is passionate about the IP, delivering great products. So it doesn't have to be just take IP and give it to someone who hates it. You could take IP and give it to someone who likes it, and you'll get a better product for it. There's plenty of case studies of that happening, yet for some reason they keep doing shit like this, of giving it to someone who just doesn't like it and doesn't want to do it at all. They're just cashing in a paycheck. Blows my fucking mind, but it's Call of Duty. Should really not expect anything else besides just the most lackluster shit ever. Anyway, the last topic I briefly want to touch on is a new comedy that started. Raise your hand if you've heard of Kevin. No hands, huh? Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's something the Jedi wouldn't tell you about. It's like fucking Darth Plagueis. This is a show that's really flown under the radar. I've only heard of it because Matt sent me a review that was made about it. This is an Aubrey Plaza adult animation, and this review is scathing, to say the least. It is a brutal critique of it, and it was so intense that it piqued my curiosity, so I watched the first episode to see if it really is as bad as the review suggested it is. And even though I was only able to stomach one episode, I can comfortably say that it is. For some reason, so many of these animated adult series now try and just emulate Big Mouth. Big Mouth is my least favorite comedy ever made, by the way. I've said that a lot, and it remains true to this day. I think it is an insufferable, miserable, awful show to sit through, and yet for some reason it started a trend where everything else tries to be Big Mouth. It's like if you saw a pile of dog shit and you got inspired, you're like, oh wow, what a pile of dog shit. I bet I can make some of that shit myself. And then you go take a poop. Like, it blows my mind. But anyway, Kevin has the exact same DNA as Big Mouth, even shares the same style for the most part. So something that initially caught my eye in the review is about this attempt at a gag. So Kevin is a cat who lives in an apartment, and then his human couple breaks up, but he decides he can brave the world on his own. He doesn't need human companions. And a big thing about Kevin is he has a protuberant anus, a fact that is repeated with fervor that suggests the writers believe it to be powerful enough to merit a long-running gag badge. Stop talking about your deformed anus, slurs Kevin's alcoholic goose friend Chuck. It's not deformed, shouts Kevin. It's prolapsed. And lo, the soul begins its inexorable decline. When I first read that, I thought it was exaggeratory, but in the first episode alone, I'm pretty sure there were 4 mentions specifically about his deformed asshole. Kevin, your asshole's so freaky. It's not freaky, it's prolapsed. Cue canned laughter, laugh sound effects. So it is something that they do seem to really like is the catchphrase, and Kevin explains it that his brother, when they were kittens, was sucking on his asshole, causing it to prolapse, and that's why it looks that way, but it's totally normal. Haha. I really don't get what the obsession is with these adult animated shows needing to focus so specifically on animal assholes and cock. Like, just last year, and I know I yapped about this then, but just as a reminder, last year, there was something that came out called Fixed from a legendary talent, Genndy Tartakovsky, who has made some masterpiece animated series. And for some reason, he squeaks this out, and it's all, everything that was marketed around it was all about dog butthole and dogs fucking, that kind of thing. And Kevin's like the same thing, except with cats now in this one. Why does it have to be that way? Why? It's weird. It's not entertaining. It's just fucking odd. Anyway, back to Kevin though. Another line from the review that really had me interested in seeing if it is this bad was this. Laugh-wise, it's a washout. Punchlines collapse mid-punch. Other jokes make no sense. Here, for example, is Cupcake on why she is called Cupcake. Because if you like what's on the bottom, you are insane. This is not a joke. This is a handful of words in a raincoat. That's actually verbatim how it goes in the show, by the way. When she's explaining the origin of her name Cupcake, that is what she says. Because if you like what's on the bottom, you're insane, and then pushes him in. It's bad. Anyway, I watched that first episode, and I didn't want to feel like it was all for nothing, entirely wasted time, so I just wanted to briefly yap about it. Then I at least tried it after reading the review. I didn't like it. Anyway, yeah, these were just a few topics I wanted to yap about. That's really about it. So yeah. Future. We are really in the thick of it now. I'm 31 years old and it's got me feeling geriatric. Because I still remember when an interview meant that you had the person and you were asking them questions either face to face or through email or something. You were interacting with the real human being. But that's no longer the case thanks to AI butt-fucking everything and everyone. Esquire Singapore published an AI-generated interview with Penguinz0, the actor who plays Zorro in live-action One Piece, because he was too busy to attend in person and he also wasn't responding to their email questions. So they didn't want to be caught with their dick in their hand and they still wanted to publish something, so they had AI fart out an interview that wasn't real and didn't involve Penguinz0 in any way, shape, or form, yet had it answering as if it were him, all for the sake of those precious clicks that they didn't want to miss out on. And while they're getting dunked on now, I fully believe, whole hog believe, this will become more normal. I think more journalistic outlets will start doing shit like this. We landed a big fish, huge interview coming up with fucking Marilyn Monroe. We got a spiritual medium on the horn and we actually got her in the studio. Her ghost is here. Check out this interview. And just have AI like spit some shit out. And they'll do that for just the biggest actors on the planet and try and hope nobody recognizes it and that no one that actually represents them speaks on it. Now, in the case of the Penguinz0 interview here, they did say that it was AI up front, but they tried to portray it as some kind of noble, creative endeavor that they embarked on, which is so fucking disgustingly cringe. And I just have to show this to you. It is painfully pretentious. The whole thing, like everything about it, is absolutely AI. I'm very confident. So Penguinz0 in residence is what they call it. In an unprecedented interview for both parties, we call into the abyss to hear what comes back about the man behind One Piece's Zorro. I like that they're trying to frame it as an unprecedented interview for both parties, an experiment. But in fact, it's actually no parties involved here. They've just slopped out a fanfic. This is no different than someone just writing shit on like a Tumblr account about like a fake interview they had with a celebrity. It's not like McKinney or anyone that represents him engaged in this interview with them. This is complete horse hockey. This is like me saying, Sabrina Carpenter and I exchanged an unprecedented display of affection because I kissed my computer screen with a picture of Sabrina Carpenter up on it. Both parties were really engaged in this emotion. It was fiery, electric even, from both of us. It's so fucking stupid. And you know what else is stupid? Bad hygiene. You can't AI away dog shit hygiene, so fix that right now. Get yourself some better soap. Go to usecheeky.com to get some of the best soap in the universe. Now here's their introduction to the idea here. Sound engulfs us, yet it's not something we notice until it's gone. In fact, the type of noises we tend to ignore are the ones that repeat. A breeze brushing against the leaves, or the drumming beat of our hearts. Soon they blend into the environment, ever present but incognito. In journalism, conversations make the story. By the way, no conversation ever took place here. A question given, an answer returned. A short chuckle, a natural snort, or a telling sigh. And what of a void? How does one relay what was not said? Oh, fucking Shakespearean. ChatGPT really outdoing itself with this one, Esquire Singapore. McKinney's resume chimes with what we know of him. And that is the most AI statement. That is literally nothing. What the fuck does that even mean? His resume chimes with what we know of him. No shit. I mean, that's the whole point of a resume. It would be what he has done and what we know. It's like saying, Charles' tax documents buzz with what the IRS knows he owes. It's so silly. It's so fucking dumb. It's unbelievably stupid. It then goes on to give a little bit of his history. Then they explain why they're doing this. We were stoked to have some FaceTime with Japanese-American actor, but his schedule prevented it. So you didn't have the FaceTime. So we opted for email correspondence. A list of inquiries were sent his way and we waited. The silence continued until it was quickly replaced by a ticking clock as deadlines loomed. See, that's somewhat honest. Hey, we wanted this interview, we didn't hear anything, and we had a deadline, so we made it all up in order to meet the deadline. We had the photo spread, but nothing directly uttered by the 29-year-old. With a driving need for a feature, we had to be inventive, harnessing our creative license. So creative. Hey, Grok, can you generate an interview with McIntyre for my dog shit publication? And then put him in a bikini. Thanks, Grok. We pulled his verbatim from previous interviews and fed them through an AI program to formulate new responses. Are these words we expect from McIntyre? Or are they just replies from an echo chamber of celebrityhood that we want to believe is from him? Profound. Really thought-provoking. And here's what this trash looks like. Esquire Singapore. How important is it to you to draw boundaries in your career? AI McKinney. Boundaries are important, but I didn't always have them. When you're young, you want to say yes to everything. I had this anxiety that if I stop, I disappear. Well, good news. Now you don't even have to say yes to anything. They'll just do it anyway, thanks to AI. You don't even have to agree to do an interview. They'll just make one up thanks to AI and put words in your mouth. So don't even worry about that anymore. Esquire then tries to dabble in like emotional questions and get emotional responses from the AI here, which is completely fucking useless. And it's always these like cliche platitudes. So like, how do you deal with disillusionment over the years? I go home, spend time with family. May sound boring, but I give my best when I'm working. So those moments help me. Disillusionment happens when you lose sight of why you started. Doing the simple things remind me that this is a job I chose and I love. It puts the hard parts in perspective. But the next one's a real doozy. Any advice on how to deal with pressure and expectations? I separate pressure from weight. Pressure is external, like people's expectations. That I can't control, but the weight of my family legacy. The goal isn't to match my father, it's to make him proud, and maybe inspire someone else to do the same. Pressure can crush you, but weight can ground you. That section is especially tasteless, and it's one a lot of people are pointing to show just how disgusting this whole thing is. So, McKinney's father was Sonny Chiba, and he passed away. He was a legendary actor. And now, in the Esquire Singapore interview, they are shamelessly having AI start talking about his father and the family legacy, and it's really gross because you have AI McKinney here that Esquire Singapore is put on for the interview that is now talking about his deceased father in this way. The whole interview is fucking silly, but that part is pretty out there. That's pretty degenerate shit right there. There is just no defending this. Even if you don't find it as dystopian as you should, what value is there in pretending that this is an interview with a large actor here when it's not? It's an AI-generated script of a fucking fantasy interview with this actor. It provides nothing. It's not real. It's all make-believe and based off of AI's interpretation of like previous answers he's given in other interviews, and they just Frankenstein this monster together. It is worthless. And like I said, I'm pretty confident this will become more commonplace as more publications have these deadlines where they're supposed to get interviews and, exclusive access and stuff. They might get desperate and start just doing this for the sake of clicks or meeting those deadlines. It really is something that I think is going to be more often seen than not. Right now, this is the first one, but I think it's the first of many to come. Hopefully I'm wrong, though. I just don't think I am. This is going to save them a lot of money because then you don't even have to book any interviews or anything. You also don't even have to pay to get like a production set up to actually interview them. You could AI generate the video interviewing them too, and it'd be extremely cheap. And all of these publications, all of these companies only care about saving money and getting clicks, and this would still accomplish those goals. So I just see a lot of this in the future. This shit sucks. I had to yap about it. That's about it. See ya.